I actually finally read the chat. It's like, okay, what was that for?
Oh, that was when you were trying to get Dallas to clarify, and he said it again, and it sounded like you were going to start on the name of a card, and I'm like, it's an AI pun. I know that's not very clear from the
No,
fact
I heard that.
Dallas refuses to pronounce this part.
He just didn't say it like 2 times.
No, he did say the name a couple of times. It's just he said it as a casual part of a sentence, and it took me a second to realize. Oh, right, an ad ignister card. I kind of subtly hate. Hi, the internet, by the way. I think we're actually live. Yeah, I think we're going. I kind of subtly hate the way the eye cards are designed, where it's like
I love them though.
Oh, I mean, I love the puns, but it's so hard, especially with us talking in like a verbal medium, to talk about those cards because it sounds like you're just saying things. You're just speaking English.
To be fair, the monsters aren't even any better. Like, they're all fucking onomatopoeias. It's achichi, burudu, purudu, dororo, gachiri. Like, it's all look, watch MBT's video for my opinion, but I is a very unique antagonist, and I love him to death. He's probably one of my favorite antagonists in anime, because he is basically schizophrenic when it comes to his personality, in a great way. Because at one second he is the goofiest man in the room, and then the next second he wants to destroy all of humanity. And you believe it.
I think part of it might be just to do that the show never, I think, like, condensed basically 5 episodes.
I mean, Axe, have you actually watched Vrains?
I have seen multiple episodes be, like, dissected by
Okay,
people.
that doesn't count. Any asshole can make a video essay on why something is bad or good.
I don't mean to say...
okay, what about dissected? I mean MPT showing bits he felt actually showed the show.
I don't mean to be...
I mean, even then, he's still, like, compressing. Like, I know a lot of people say a lot of things, but I am not going to take your, like, theories that, oh, the show was compressed is why this is weird without watching it. Because a lot of people spread a lot of urban legends about anime.
Here's the thing.
Like, a lot of people insist that, like, oh, you know, Crow was made so popular because they wanted Black Wings to be popular. Probably not.
I think it was the exact opposite.
Yeah, I think they made him so popular because Black Wings were a meta card that were, like, Black Wings started to pop in the OCG, and they were like, oh shit, we're gonna milk this. We're gonna keep bringing this character back, not the other way around.
The one thing I said is, like, I was just only thinking of the one bit where I think it was the appliancer fights that felt like it was a bit like it was.
Well, okay, no, there is something to be said to defend X a little bit. There is something to be said. There is definitely a pacing issue in Vrains, and it is in the middle. Like, the middle of Vrains is very... I'm gonna actually say it. I'll just say it with my chest. The middle of 90% of Yu-Gi-Oh! Seasons, except the first 2, sucks. Like, and Zexal. Zexal's a bit different, but...
I'm familiar with most
like,
of the
middle of
plot
5D sucks, the middle of Arc V sucks.
What qualifies as the middle of 5D? The end of the first season, the beginning of the second?
After the Dark Signer arc.
Okay, so
after the Dark Signer, but presumably before we actually get to the Z-Own, like...
Yeah. I mean, I think the last part is also shit, but the middle part is even more shit.
Well, the middle part is where we write out Akiza's character so we can have 3 dude bros being bros. And
look, I hate 5Ds.
I assume that I also believe that's the tournament one with all the other 3-man teams who have decks that nobody likes and suck.
Yeah, the unicorn
I just have nostalgia for the series, but I also think it's not great.
Hey, that's fair. Dallas also fucking hates Duel Monsters. That's my nostalgia series. I love it.
No,
or at least DM. I love all the non-filler parts.
I'll give that credit. I think DM has the strongest middle of ZM and GX have the strongest.
It has cool
middles.
ideas.
Well, Dallas, it's a very good question. What part are you calling the middle of that? Are we calling like? Okay, yes, good. You're calling the actual middle arc because
the second.
Yeah, that's the middle arc.
Because there's a lot of filler, and the virtual world stuff is hilarious, but it's awful.
To clarify on GX, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but the second season of GX is probably my favorite.
I mean, that's subjective. Like, you're not saying it's objectively the best.
No,
that's
no,
really
no.
hard to decide. But
no,
if you like it the best, that's fine.
Okay, if we wanted to do pure... how do I phrase this in the most insulting way possible? Like, art critic, snob, finger up my ass. Objectively, it is probably season 4, because that has the best writing and best character moments.
And
quote-unquote.
ironically, the series that wasn't translated to English officially.
Well, yeah, because it dealt with a main character asking, "Do I want to commit? Do I want to commit on a life?
Should I deal with the guilt of my actions?"
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's a very Digimon Tamers-esque in that way.
Oh yeah, which by the way, having watched a smattering of the, I guess you'd call like the original contiguous like 4-ish Digimons, Tamers has always been my favorite.
I was going at something and I need like 2 minutes to express this thought I've had for like the last 5 minutes.
Go ahead. What you got?
So, I got into 5Ds. I think I was a kid. I don't think I kept. I was a kid. I got past it. Like middle school, I think I had Blackwing cards, but I also had like a Magna structure deck. And then like I never did play it right because I had like 80 card fucking decks. It was dumb. I didn't understand shit. I wasn't mentally conscious until I was 13.
None of us
or
did.
15. But it was worse because my card stuff. But
All right. Don't.
I ended up getting into SMT, and then I ended up getting more into just RC JRPGs all the time. And then I think I watched Digimon sometimes. I got into Toku, and then I got back into like Yu-Gi-Oh. And it's just like, weirdly enough, Brains is kind of my aesthetic, but it just didn't what I wanted because I guess a weird art guy where I would be more into like characters like Akiza and like Carly being main characters and shit. Like,
well, yeah,
like
this
Yeah,
is.
but here's the thing, and I'll say this with my chest. For me to be invested in a female character is all well and good. They have to be a good character, and whoever is behind the writing team at Yu-Gi-Oh can't ever.
Yes,
Alexis is the best female
is
Yu-Gi-Oh
like,
character, and that is saying a bad thing.
Yu-Gi-Oh has never. Well, at least the core Yu-Gi-Ohs. I do actually think some of the, because there's quite a few of them. There's quite a few female characters in Sevens, who actually like do things and are part of our actual like power trio and antagonists and supporting characters.
I will say
Sevens.
the one detriment to what I have gathered
is it
through upper people showing it is that a lot of the female center shows are still like the female bit characters that are known for like Japanese kid shows, but
Yeah, but
they're still.
Though
parts of the
I
past,
also
they're
don't want to
still the
say,
bits.
isn't the new Seven sequel series? Isn't it a pair of like twins with the protagonists, a boy and a girl? I'm trying to remember.
the reason I was
I don't know.
slightly more accepting of it in
Yeah, hey, Mark's
frames,
here.
and I'll just say that, and in a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh series, it doesn't bother me as much as it does in other anime series.
Yeah.
Is because most of the characters in those
Aren't good.
shows are bad. Like, I can name good,
Yeah.
well-written Yu-Gi-Oh characters on my one hand. Like they're tropes. Like that's a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh, like, especially in Duel Monsters. But it's realistically, if you look close enough, it's every season.
Hi, Martha.
Like there's the bug guy,
Yes.
the dinosaur guy,
Already
the
said-
fish guy.
Anyway, yes,
Sorry.
you are correct, Dallas. Because
Like-
the show is, and has been for literally like over a decade at this point, the show is a marketing engine for Konami. Like,
Yeah.
technically, TV Tokyo and Shueisha and stuff like own the original license, but Konami pays them money so that the studios can develop the show and they can turn it into the card game and
Yeah.
card game variants they can sell. It's very weird and funny, and is why Konami basically bought the zombie, the corpse of 4Kids, to make Yu-Gi-Oh dubs because they wanted to continue shilling it over here. So a lot of the
Yeah.
characters are written for the purpose of having characters to make up new random cards, and it's weird. And I think we've discussed this before. Yu-Gi-Oh historically has done bad by female characters. I assume part of it is just because the original series didn't have a really like strong
I mean,
female duelist character.
If we're gonna be really spicy, I don't think it's a Yu-Gi-Oh problem. I think it's an anime problem. But that's
I have-
different.
But there are plenty of modern anime that have decent female characters.
Yeah,
I
but
have
you
had
said- there was a word
Yeah,
there you
that's
said
true.
that was important there.
Modern?
I wanna bring up a
yeah,
thing.
can't-
Yeah.
True.
I want to bring up a thing where
Excuse
What's up,
me.
Mark?
There you go.
To bring this up, yeah, you were. Red, can it still be her, or I'm breaking up?
just keep saying.
You're audible.
Hello? Okay.
Keep talking. To me.
So, just to say that about Go Rush, yeah, it's a pair of twins who are support and protagonists. The female character is actually very strong in that.
Okay, so like it
That's cool.
Rush has always felt a
Meanwhile,
little
the
bit
male
like
supporting one
good.
is. And they finally got around to doing something very getting to darker matters now.
okay,
with
that's
the,
interesting.
What is called Earthworm where they turn monsters, Yu-Gi-Oh monsters, real things that could do real damage.
So
Okay.
Rush has always seemed to me like with the original Rush has always seemed to me like they went to a new studio and Konami's trying to like, okay, we need to like literally reinvent the wheel, but like for real this time. We need to like have a fresh start. And it seems like they're continuing that trend with Go Rush where they're like, we're trying to do new stuff and make this feel new and fresh again in kind of a unique way.
Yeah.
But okay.
I think I've always been stuck at this phase of I want to see what a card game or like a game medium anime or just series could be like and actually have good writing and be things that it's like I feel like the only one I ever heard about was like supposedly like Card Red Vanguard, but that's a whole different
That
thing.
anime is awful.
But there's like 6 different seasons of it, the different writers, so I don't know.
That's entirely
Generally,
possible that there could be some other one.
Actually,
It's like a good season or 3.
Okay, let me rephrase that. The first 2 seasons of that anime are terrible.
That's
I would
fair. I think you have like the
say-
later one.
there. The first scene of Cardfight Vanguard because it did not go into this whole like put your life on the line thing.
I'm thinking like it was like
Which
the
seems
latest
to
one
be
that
a lot of
came out.
anime that either is competitive, seems to have like aliens or things invading. You have to defend them with this specific game.
I think I'm thinking of like the latest season and the one just before that. Came
Well,
out
I
this
don't know
year.
anything about this, so I'm
the
hosting
point
the
is-
stream, so
Whatever.
Yeah. Anyways,
The point-
let's do this.
I was always just in a phase. It's like I was hoping it would be actually be a good show like this, and I never found one yet.
he's just gonna continue on anyway. All right, okay. It's Failed Portrayal. We've had a little bit of preamble. We yelled about Master Duel and the Yu-Gi-Oh anime for a little bit, like we do. Loth will not be joining us tonight. He has an appointment, and everybody else we know is dead. So we're here. I'm kind of glad that we're not doing dragons in that case because it doesn't seem like we have a high yield. If you're curious about the sub count, it's been kind of flexing back and forth. Earlier today, we were at 399. Now we're back down to 395. I don't know. I doubt there's like a conspiracy to like, 4 or 5 people unsubbed at the last minute. I suspect what probably happened is YouTube just regularly prunes bot or dead accounts, and it happened to catch like 5 of them because we do have a endemic spam account problem in the comments. Literally every video I post gets at least 2, sometimes more, comments in random languages with people who have like Russian usernames but speak in Spanish, or Spanish usernames who write in Sanskrit or something with the same spam links. Dear YouTube, if you could do something about that. Hey, guess what? It's probably seems draconian to some people, but you don't need fucking links in your YouTube comments. Just don't allow those. Take those away. Nobody needs them. But
Yeah.
so I assume what happened is probably that like I said, like 4 or 5 bot accounts got trimmed. I feel pretty confident that at our uptick and our level of shillifying, we'll probably get 31 by next week. And I want to tell you guys not to give up because we want to get there. I posted some shots of to let everybody know what that dragon is you're seeing. Odd Eye's Advanced Dragon, who has fucked up hands and feet and hand feet. Listen, it's gonna be an experience. You want to see it, so keep telling your friends and family and enemies to sub.
I'll be real with you. I might be reaching points where it's like, can we just not talk about the card and just move to the next one? I might reach that point.
We
so
might actually get to that point where it's just like, what does this card do? I don't know, anime bullshit. Look at these orbs.
No,
Moving on.
I want to rant about the anime bullshit because that's the funniest part to me.
I guess
Some of these
those are pretty
effects are
funny.
like, why is
We'll
this
need
a
lists
thing?
there so we can complain about once
I
he's
will
actually
warn
played.
everybody. So next in our saga of the Master Guide dual terminal stuff, we are doing Yang Zing. I'll go ahead and bring up our first subject. I'm gonna warn you.
Baiji?
Yes.
Or BG, sorry, BG.
Do you think Dallas is here because he's actually played all
Yeah,
these
no.
cards?
He knows stuff, but
Oh, I know.
and I understand
Oh, no,
a little bit about how they work because I've played
Beyond
against Dallas
right.
with his deck. The main thing is I am gonna warn you. This archetype comes out. It premiered in Duelist Alliance. The start of Pendulum format, aka when everybody assumes Yu-Gi-Oh got wordy. And to be fair, Yang Zings are usually pretty chunky effect-wise. They are
Yang
all
Zings
effect
have a lot of
monsters,
effects.
and first of all of them float. Like every single
Yeah,
one has
no.
a
It's
on
just-
destruction effect.
So,
They're
do
just
you
a
want me
bit
to
more-
explain the Yang Zing thing?
Yeah, sure,
Is
go
there-
for it.
there-
Talk
there's
talk
a-
through the strategy.
So, Yang Zing's basic thing, or at least the one I should explain now, which of the effects is all of the monsters have either 0 attack or defense. And what it is all of the monsters that have 0 defense can float into the ones that have 0 attack, and vice versa. There's one that can be floated into either that, if you could guess, has 0 both. So basically, the thing is, some can float, like the main deck ones at least, because that's just what I'm just focusing on that. The main deck ones, all the defense ones can float into the offense ones, all the offense ones can float into the defense ones, and then they all have secondary effects when they're used as synchro material. And some of them have tertiary effects.
Yeah.
And some of them have quaternary? I don't know how to say that.
Quaternary, I think is usually the way we phrase that.
Quaternary effect, yeah.
Yeah. So they all have fairly consistent effects. We can probably gloss over some of them, but they have a lot. And also to put this into lore, so according to Master Guide 5, after the great big showdown of explosions, the tree and Sophia and all that fun stuff, Sombre and Kirkion are going about their business trying to, make sure things don't fuck up again. Spoilers, they fail. But specifically, Sombre, Constellar Sombre, wanders the land looking for basically, as a result of them destroying Sophia and all this stuff, the tree is kind of juiced up a little bit, and there's energy all throughout the land in these ley lines. And so Sombre goes around trying to figure out powerful creatures to do some stuff. And she uses, because she has the power of creation and 7 of the Pyroxenes from Master Diamond. And the 8th Pyroxene, because she used to be Seraphonite, she goes to these ley lines and creates 8 Yang Zings originally. However, in order to actually seal Sophia and the Sephiroth system and the tree and all that other bullshit we run into, she needs 9. Well, too bad. We don't get there. So she keeps looking around to find the 9th Yang Zing. So the ones that are canonically manifested by Sombra are, I don't know why these aren't in alphabetical order, but it's Suani, Bian, Biji, Pulao, Chaofeng, Taote. And also, for some reason, Zafraxi or Zafrashi, depending on how they want to pronounce that, and Zafranu.
I can explain why, if you want.
Yeah, I'm just confused why the naming is the Zephyr parts.
Well, no, it's because it's done in story format.
Ah, okay.
So the Yang Zing are all based on the 9 sons of the dragon, which is a Chinese myth. The 9 sons of the dragon god. Oh God, what the fuck is his name again?
Your hair.
So I can't remember his Chinese name. His English translated name is literally just Dragon King.
That's
fine. Pretty sure.
The Dragon God, Dragon King. And so the reason they're, I assume, because Suani was first, which is, I'm not gonna go fact check all of them because I don't care that much, but statistically, Shungenji, Shunge, sorry, not Shungenji, Shunge is the first one, which is the one Suani is based off of.
I will say that one that recognizes me was Taote, which is I think usually a Chinese evil, a Chinese demon.
Yeah, Totetsu. Well, he's also a dragon son, but he's just the dick.
He's
usually
the
dick of the family.
He's usually shown as a weird demonic sheep.
Well, and spoilers for later. Taoti is Shadow, and Jiaotu is not named in this one. Is Darkness. It's funny.
Yeah.
So. Starting right here with Bian, the bulk of the Yang Zings were introduced in Duelist Alliance. That was Earth, Water, Light, Wind, Fire, and also the Synchro Brightness. The next block, which is in literally the next set, New Challengers, was Darkness, Shadow, and Evil as the Synchro.
So it's Yin and Yang, which I guess is why the 0, why each block they're all one.
And then the third block is Secret Treasure Phantom, so hidden stuff, and then last it's your boy Denglong, the first. First is last. It's funny. But so art-wise, I think we've preambled enough. Go ahead.
Just to say, Axe is technically correct. I forgot Taoti and Jiaotu are not related. Are related. They're not part of the family. It's very weird.
I will say that there is a thing of mechanically they're emulating the yin and yang thing of the yang gets the yin and the yin gets the yang. I guess how are all points in one side of the stats.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff there.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. So, Beyond is the tiger one.
He's a tiger dragon.
Beyond is the tiger dragon. I really like this art. I'm not gonna lie.
I think all of the Yangzings have pretty clean art, and obviously this is, fairly modern. I assume it's digital.
Also, is it normal where, like, a lot of the worms are usually more meant to be, like, Chinese dragons, or is it just a different typing? I forget.
Yes.
Sometimes the typing is different, but yes, I believe the... Let me go look at the...
Because the Churchakos are all kind of...
The worms started with the Yangzing.
Let me go double-check what the etymology
is. Because, like, the Tenyi are worms, but that's because they're also...
they're also later. Yeah, so in Japanese, worm is written Genryu, as in phantom dragon. And they were introduced with
like ethereal dragons. Okay.
Yangzing.
Yeah, Yangzings are the first worms,
and they kind of resemble some previous cards, but we should also note, while there have been some other worm support cards, there are only a handful of worm archetypes. One of them is the True Draco or True King, aka True Dragon, which kind of works. Metaphys are all worm retrains, basically, of monsters.
Maybe it just means dragons that are also like spirits.
It could just be their spirit. And then Tenyi, which Axe mentioned, which is very much just the aesthetics are very similar to Yangzing, but in a less like lore way. They kind of exist in their own setting, but they have a similar aesthetic of like spirit dragons and elements.
To put it this way, the only worm archetype that has never seen tournament success is Metaphys, I believe.
Yes, because the most recent archetype that's worm, in case you probably didn't realize, because most of them look just like dudes, it's Sword Soul.
Well, yeah.
Because those are actually dragon people, is the thing. So yeah.
Well, yeah, but still, it's the Sword Soul guys you see are usually big armored men with swords.
What I've gotten is like all worm archetypes are always like Eastern. Not theology, but Eastern.
Well, so far, all of them except for I don't know Metaphys entomology, but I'm pretty sure all of them are Chinese.
It's all like Chinese or like Chinese style.
Because Tenyi is Chinese, Sword Soul is.
Oh yeah, so Sword Soul is obviously like a
one of them is very gives it the game away.
Churchako's weird, but they're also one of the first.
Yeah. Spoiler: Zhang Shi or Zhang Shi, Zhang. Oh God, Zhang Zhanyashi, which is Zhangjiang in Sword Soul, is literally the art of making swords in Chinese.
Yes, and aesthetically, if you consider like the Abyss storyline meta, the Sword Soul are very clearly the fantasy China after we left fantasy super Catholicism. You can pick whatever country that is.
I'm gonna go with France.
I was gonna say France.
I don't know about that part actually. Though
France I guess not Roman,
I guess there is fleur,
English.
so that is literally.
Yeah,
but like
that was
ecclesia is Latin.
I was thinking it's like a mix between Rome and France.
Albaz is there are parts that border. There's the Pyrenees Mountains. Anyway, we're not going to get into geography. So art-wise, is there a lot to say about Beyond? He seems just like a nice, solid starting point. He is a dragon and also a tiger.
He's got a cool art. I feel like all the Yangzing as a tapestry.
Honestly,
cool.
I think he's probably my least favorite Yangzing art, but that says a lot. Well, no, that's not true. There's one Yangzing art I consider bad.
He's still like a solid
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
He's a solid card too.
And it's a little subtle in this one, but he is Earth of the Yangzing, so he's got some rocks in there, and he's got kind of Earth tones to him, so it fits. They didn't do anything weird.
Like stone scales.
This one's an easy one. Beyond's counterpart in the Nine Sons of the Dragon is Beyond. They didn't change anything.
Yeah.
At all.
So he floats, and what else?
Okay. So first effect is the Yangzing float effect.
Yeah.
Once per turn, during your opponent's main phase or battle phase, you can immediately, after you float, synchro summon using this monster. That is the second effect. You can synchro on your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
Did we clarify that the float is only when your opponent destroys or sends?
No,
it is not.
It's not. When this card you control, which doesn't mean it has to be on the field,
destroyed by battle or card effect,
and sent to the graveyard.
Okay.
So you can macro Yangzings, but it's so long as you control, which means it's on the field.
Yeah.
At least for this one. Destroyed by
and
battle
then
card effect.
His third effect is a synchro summoned monster. Use this card as a synchro material. Cannot be destroyed by battle.
Yeah. Also, we forgot to clarify the name. So in English, this is Yang Xing. The actual term for the Children of the Dragon is Yang Xing with an X. They picked the Xing because, as we know,
it would be pronounced. It's pronounced Yang Xing in China.
God. Okay, so that just proved it. The problem is that the way we handle romanization of the X in Chinese fucking sucks. It's awful.
ZI is almost exclusively Zha.
Yeah, so it's a really weird flex where I wish to God they would clear that up, but
sorry,
whatever.
Just quick Chinese lesson.
Yeah.
ZI is Z or Z, and ZIA is Zha.
Okay.
That's the quickest way to pronounce.
And that the characters that make up that word can mean sun star, which explains in Japanese they are ryusei with special characters, which is that is the word for meteor or shooting star, but also when written with those characters is basically Dracomet, dragon meteor. So they are Dracomet. And I think the grammar makes a little bit more sense in Japanese. Like, Bion's name was Dracomet of Earth, whereas Earth of the Yang Xing is kind of like, okay, that's a little weird grammatically. By the way, he is Earth attribute and has 1600 attack, 0 defense. Yeah. But yes, so a fairly decent boy. You can do the synchro.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with how they translated Yang Xing. I do have issues with how the Japanese romanized the names.
Yeah,
it's a bit random.
The Japanese import of Chinese pronunciation has always been weird. This is how you get Sun Wukong into Sun Goku. Because that's just, literally, those are meant to mean the same thing. It's just somehow the phonemes got drifted.
Be honest, probably the worst example of it. Bion is romanized as Haikan or Haikan. I don't know.
Should you say Hiekan? Yeah, it would be Hie because you pronounce all the vowels. Hie. Yeah, it's hard. And I'm a huge weeb. I'm well versed, and I have problem with the double vowels sometimes. But okay, let's grab the next guy. I think we've talked.
I think the next guy is one of my favorite arts.
Yeah, this one's pretty fun. All right.
And it's also my favorite one to say. Because no one can pronounce this right.
Okay.
Or at least no YouTube personalities can pronounce it right.
Alright, well. He's here.
Yeah, there's BG Boy.
Yeah, BG. Which I know because you've said it several times, because this one is important.
Yeah. He's Turtle Dragon.
Which, a common motif. Again, doesn't leave us with a lot to talk about. This one's Water of the Yang Xing, so, they've got some bubbles. He's also blue, keeps in the theme and everything. He is a turtle, and he is a dragon.
You might actually have... This says... You might have actually seen statues of this. This one's actually a fairly common statue in, China.
Yeah.
Lots of turtle dragons.
Which is why, dragon turtles are so well known enough that they can even be a D&D monster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's a whole heck of a lot to say about this one again. It's a turtle and a dragon.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And he is water. And he's 0 attack and 2 defense.
No, this is one of the this is one of the more played ones just because of some of the variant decks. In pure Yang Xings, he's not very played at all. But in some of the variants, like True King Yang Xing, he's very played. Mostly just because I'm not gonna say that.
Bahirastos.
Bahirastos is a good card in that deck. He's very good.
Yeah, so the effects on this one are pretty simple. It's
typical float effect. He floats into an attack position, so you should probably get one of the attack boys. And then once per turn he has the synchro on your opponent's turn effect, so those two are pretty consistent across most of them. but if he's used as Shinkro material, your monster is immune to traps.
Yeah. Which, of course, can be relevant.
Well, yeah.
Dallas unsheathes his Yangzing sandwich.
Yangzing spicy meatball falafel.
Spicy falafel of the Yangzing. Yeah, no, I'm just giving up. Giving up at this point.
Most of these to like actually start testing noise suppression or something. Whatever.
My mic is like across the table from me.
It's very powerful. I mean, you know, according to Delta Green, a decent a cheap-ass directional mic has a 10-meter range. So, over the counter can probably...
It might just be directional.
Yeah.
I mean, like, my model is technically a polar microphone also, by the way. Hopefully I sound okay, everybody. I have, like, readjusted my pop filter and stuff, because it's attached to my bungee cords, basically. So, but that means it gets bumped around a little bit during my daily
You
routine.
sound fine to me, but you're also directly in the call, so...
Yeah, hopefully the Streamifying is doing okay. Do we have any fun BG facts before we move on to the next lad?
Oh, it's not a fun fact. BG is traditionally used as a funeral marker in Chinese more ancient culture. He's the one that protects the graves.
And there are... It's interesting with the water synergy, because there are certainly... I think it's a little more common in some East Asian cultures to associate water with the grave.
Yeah, especially in China. I don't know that much about Japan, but... There's like 5 river gods, and they're all very important.
It's moderately common in Japan. If you've ever seen, you know, like, Ringu, you know, like, there's a decent number of, you know, ghosts that look like they're drowned. And a lot of association with the underworld as being dark, wet. So, alphabetically, still from our first blobbo, is... Let me grab the card art.
I should also say, because this is funny, this is very funny, actually. I have a fun fact about Beyond I could say.
Okay, go for it.
So, they made Beyond Hot in a Chinese game that was recently created. Because Beyond is the dragon of litigation and was a fairly direct inspiration for Genshin Impact's, God, I can't remember his name, Rex Lapis, I think, is what they called him.
Oh, right, yeah. The guy who's in charge of the Chinese region.
Yeah.
Or the guy who used to be in charge of it.
So, that's a fun one.
Yeah, that is pretty fun. All right, I have pulled up Chiwen, Light of the Yangzing. Also featured on the card Path of the Yangzing. We're not going to show that art, even though it's an important card, because it's just this guy falls from space.
Fish.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Space fish.
Right. Power of the stars formed this guy.
Yeah, that's why he's got stars.
I just think about...
he's a space fish.
It makes me just think of those Chinese, like, fish flags.
Wonder what...
Oh, right. It reminds me of dragon that goes into the majestic dragons.
Wait. I could also see it as just as a Sentai mech.
Oh yeah, it's just you play the white dragon flute and he just shoots down from space.
So Chiwen is probably the most famous dragon. Like, looking wise, you've probably seen. I'll pull up a picture. You've probably seen some decorations that look like that are designed with Chiwen, because he's put on the roofs of houses for good luck.
Yep, lucky dragons. I'll pull up this literal postage stamp Jalis has provided me with, but I think the people at home can see. And he definitely, like, while he does look slightly fishy, especially with the way the tail is drawn, he is also very much the most classical serpentine dragon.
Well, and he also doesn't have horns, which is important, because his name literally means hornless dragon.
I mean, he's got horns in this image.
Yeah. I didn't notice them till now when pointing them out for some reason.
They blend.
No, those are hair. The ones on the statue?
Oh, I mean, the statue, sure, yeah, but that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the...
Oh, you mean the card?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem I have with this.
That's okay. Yu-Gi-Oh! Misinterpreting myths.
Nah.
I think it's more because all of them have horns, so I think it's meant to be.
Yeah, but that's literally Chi-Wen's thing. Is He's the one that doesn't have horns.
It is his name, yes.
That's what like one of the things he's known for. That and opening his mouth like a dork.
He does have his mouth open.
Which they at least get that right. No, literally in his description, it's like swallowing things.
So this is the light 0/0 boy, and this one is a worm tuna.
Because he's a cheap tuner, he's always around.
Well, no, this is like the main card in the deck.
I got it. Next.
Also, this card has 5 effects.
Exactly what I said.
Infinite effects.
I mean, to be fair, it says you can only use one Chi-Wen effect per turn, only once that turn, but...
Oh, only 1 of 5? Okay.
But that's each effect only once per turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, he has the float effect. I believe
his is either. It's not. It's in either position.
Yeah, it lets you change to... Yeah.
And the main thing is it bars you from floating into him. Like, we've talked about this before. Like, with BG, you probably wouldn't want to float into BG because he has 0 attack, and BG summons an attack. But you technically can if you want to do a Mad Lad play.
Well, you say it bars you from floating into him. That's because it's so easy to, because
well, yeah.
He floats whenever a Yang Zing blows up.
Mm-hmm.
If he's engraved.
Yeah. Well, when a Yang Zing monster's you control is destroyed by battle card effect and sent to the graveyard, while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, and if you do, banish it when it leaves. You can only Chi-Wen once per turn. So, yeah, you blow him up, you put a Yang Zing on the board, you blow up that Yang Zing, and he's just like, I'm back.
Yeah. Or, if your opponent attacks into it, attacks into a Yang Zing, you can summon a Yang Zing and then summon him and Shinkro.
Yeah, because it's still the battle phase, and it's a quick effect.
Yep.
So there's a lot of variable, a lot of utility here. A very solid tuner. This is obviously, I think we alluded to it earlier, but we should be clear. This is a Shinkro archetype primarily. You know, some of their Shinkro monsters you will recognize very strongly when we get to them.
Yeah, it's almost pretty much entirely Shinkro archetype because all of the Yang Zings are different levels.
Yeah.
Except for 2, but
there's
level 1 Xyz suck.
Yeah. It's a utility thing, not a powerhouse thing. And it's not worth playing that game when these guys are designed to be synchroed. Obviously, you know, it was implied by their effects, but they are primarily a synchro deck, and they came out right at the start of Pen format, and they're, you know, pretty decent at it. You know, they are intended to synchro summon, and I think they made sure to give them, as is usual with a lot of these, like we said, Master Guide 5 type stuff, Konami really tried to give them all the extra juice they needed to succeed.
Well,
like Ritual Beast we've talked about, is kind of sketch, but they're at least fairly consistent. Like, they don't even need a fusion spell card. They're contact fusers, right? Yeah. And Necroz, with the fact that they were also hand traps, basically defined an era of ritual summoning. So
the problem with Yang Zing, the problem with the Yang Zing's original incarnation, in their original incarnation, they were like a rogue deck. They were like pretty good. They're never a bad deck. Yang Zings were never a bad deck. Except for maybe in
I mean,
MR4,
they made sure to dump.
A lot of decks were bad.
3, 4, 5. Yeah, they dumped five of them. I think at least 2 or 3 of their spell traps, and also their first synchro monster all at once.
But the big problem with Yang Zings has always been that they rely on your opponent to do stuff. And then Konami printed another archetype that we've done a failed portrayal on, called Metal Foes, which like blowing things up.
Yeah.
And then they became meta-relevant.
I never tried Yang Zing Metal Foes because I think I have literally 2 Yang Zings left.
Yeah, because in a limited format, they're all fucking secret.
Yes, no. We should. This was, I believe, this was still pre-super in every pack, and all of these guys are minimum super. Yes. Several are ultra.
And I traded out because spoiler, this is one of my, if not my favorite archetype of all time. Yep. It's in contention with Ignister and DDD, but in that respect, I traded out the Wazoo probably fairly bad. Oh, Paolo. Lol.
Pulao. I'm glad he has an iconic face. We'll talk about that in a second. Continue what you're saying, Dallas, real quick.
Bird. But anyway, I was gonna say is like I traded out the Wazoo for them. Probably some down trades. I know I traded some pretty good Duelist Alliance cards away just to, like, I traded myself out of Burning Abyss, out of Shadal for these cards. So, because I love this deck.
And you have
run it
piloted
again, eventually.
it and some of its variants to success.
I piloted the Yangzing Metal Foes to a tournament win.
Yeah.
And then the deck was summarily gutted.
I think we eventually
have
let you have your ding dong back.
No, you guys did.
Which is currently better than the TCG. The OCG ding dong is unlimited, but in the TCG he is.
I don't know
banned.
why. I don't know why. Like, especially with Auroradon dying. Like,
I mean, who
You
knows?
can let him out
Maybe
now.
they'll let him back after, because the Auroradon ban
Please.
just happened.
and Hulk at one.
And I gotta be real. They have unbanned stupider bullshit lately.
I will say I feel like a lot of times the ban list is just weird in that they just I feel like have a queue or like they just don't want to unban some things because they want to avoid previous situations. So like they're just afraid to unban things because they're afraid that it will something will happen again.
No, and with Hulk and Auroradon at 3, I understood why they didn't. I think they don't want to maybe right now because people will perceive it as a buff to Sword Soul.
Also,
Spoiler, it's
Dallas, I think I know why.
Why?
Never say Konami does anything without money. Denglong has only been printed once in Invasion of Venom. Last year
true.
or was it 2 years ago? A while ago, and I think it was King's Court last year. Quite a few of the Yangzings did actually get reprints at low rarities for once.
Maybe the reprinted
Beyond still hasn't.
Yeah, there's a couple that haven't. I suspect they would not want to unban Denglong while he is an ultra rare print that's like 7 years old at this point, or 8 years old. They would probably
just reprint him.
Yeah, that's what I mean though, because there weren't any sets to put him in. I think at this ban list time, and everything in Yu-Gi-Oh is getting delayed again. Fucking Tactical Masters got pushed back a month.
Honestly, that is kind of
better. Give Yangzing legacy support. There are no Worm synchro decks that could have negative repercussions in at all. Ever.
That could never go wrong.
That could never go poorly.
Tenyi Sword Soul definitely doesn't exist.
Tenyi Sword Soul.
No. The moment people saw Sword Soul premiere, they were like, "Oh, Tenyi has free specials because they're a Link deck."
And they do run Yangzing cards in that deck.
It's just I just remember hearing Tenyi be like on the top of like at least like top 32, 16, and most things for like fucking years. So maybe I'm really wrong.
I think Tenyi has been a rogue deck. They're very spicy.
Tenyi has been rogue since it came out.
And they can be anti-meta because a lot of their cards are non-effect, and they have effects that say if your opponent has an effect monster, which, hey, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Most of your opponents do.
Up until Sword Soul, Tenyi occupied the same space as Ritual Beast, where it was never an amazing deck, but it was always a anti-meta call that was very annoying for a lot of decks to deal with.
And if nothing else, they're like big Link Boy. Berserker is just like, hello, I'm 3K, I don't have an effect. Does your opponent have effects? I will break them. They also have their own version of Waking the Dragon, basically, which lets you turbo out a non-effect monster from your extra deck, which, by the way, is why Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon has been to some tournaments. I don't think they've won any, but it's been to some tournaments because it's, I think, the biggest motherfucker you can summon off of, I think it's Fists of the Unrivaled Tenyi is the name of that trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
considering how like
I will have a lot of fun when we get to a Tenyi fail Portrayal.
Honestly, that'll be fun because I also think there's actually a narrative of those cards. But
we need to talk about Pulao here. I get what they're going for with his face. It's very funny.
I mean, it's exactly as ugly and derpy looking as I wanted.
I mean, it looks exactly like a Chinese classical statue.
Yeah. And it's. Chat, audience, it's okay if you hate his stupid face. You probably hate his stupid face because you may recognize this motherfucker as stapled to El Shadal Winda.
Yeah.
Oh, that one.
This is the guy Winda is writing in the fusion form. He and I think it's just Suwani. Suwani becomes Shadal Dragon. Spoilers for the future Shadal episode. I think it's just those two, but
they got killed. Okay.
Because the others got absorbed the other way.
Wait,
Oh,
should all the
right.
body jackers. I
Oh,
forget.
that's why they stole the shadows from them.
Yeah,
That's
I
all
believe that is
Shadow
referenced
thing.
in Sinister Shadow Games, the card.
Yeah.
So the Shaddolls take control of those two, and so if this gives anybody a visceral reaction to seeing this dragon's face, I understand. Winda is still
I've
bent
more
in a format,
noticed
even
that he
though I
just
really like
has
the
a
Winda
weird
Shaddol,
hole in his
okay.
chest where his heart is.
I mean, I'd like.
No, that's his core. That's his Pyrex scene.
I think Winda could have gone to 1 in our
Right,
last
okay.
unbanning. I don't know why we didn't suggest it.
No, I
Wow.
floated. I was like, can I get a Winda? And I think
No.
it was Robin was the loudest. Definitely Axe said something too. There were several people who were like, no.
I
I'm like,
I'm
still
fine with
don't
it at
want to.
one.
I still want to deal with that fucker.
I know you don't. That's why. Next
Yeah, but
next
you are
week
also
we'll
the
try.
biggest hypocrite and want to run Thunder Dragon Colossus. So I don't take your opinion seriously.
Right, because I'm playing Thunder Dragons, you ass.
Okay, it still reads "Don't play Yu-Gi-Oh, dickwad."
It's Colossus is a very intense card. We'll
I
get
need
there
it because
someday.
he's basically a fusion link that I could use to get into
Too
Titan.
bad.
We'll just play Titan.
Well,
I mean,
can't
you can
search
play
the
one.
fusion
You
spell
can
without
play
it.
one Colossus, but
Well, I only need the one to do the
also
combo. I
you
don't
can't
need
search
one.
the fusion
For a
spell.
week.
That's a lie. It's called Thunder Dragon Fusion, isn't it?
You can search it with
You can search with Dark,
whatchamacallit.
yeah, technically.
no, not
No. There's if it has fusion in its name, right?
Yeah,
right, we were
there's a way
referring-
to
Thunder Dragon
okay.
Fusion. I think it's Thunder Dragon Fusion, yeah.
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 There's literally shitloads of cards that are designed to search those cards.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
search Thunder Confusion.
Like
Yeah,
the
no, that's the
third
reason
planet
Colossus is getting banned immediately
engine.
is because, hey, I could put Orpha Scorpio, Darling Tonia Cobra, Thunder Dragon Fusion, Colossus in every deck.
We'll see if anybody does that, but yeah, it's gonna be it'll be interesting. But that's future spoiler.
I would ban that mistake on legs.
I'll be real. I will literally honor rule over. I've only played it.
I don't care.
That is
It
again,
still
Axe.
does
You are
the
assuming
mistake
you are the
effect.
only one who will get a Thunder Dragon. Keep
It
in
also
mind it is banned.
It also does the mistake effect even if you play it, so I don't care. You can't honor rule the mistake effect away.
Listen, I might be able to bumble my way into not getting Electromite banned immediately. Maybe, possibly.
That requires you doing what I do with broken cards. And
Also,
fucking
like,
up.
I'll be real with you.
I could.
Also, my family yelled at me when I was I talking too loud earlier or no?
Not really.
What, just now? Tonight?
Yeah,
I don't
like-
think so.
No, because my family just yelled at me that they could hear me. So
Wow.
it's like, I don't know.
Well,
Maybe.
I'm in
sounds
the
like their
fucking
problem.
basement, so they don't hear me.
Maybe you
God damn
were
it.
a little loud, yeah.
I mean, you peaked a little bit, but compared to us in general, I have, glass houses, kettles, pots.
Yeah, it's just
Oh
you
my God.
understand why I get told I'm quiet all the time because
Yeah,
I have to deal with
okay,
people
it's
hearing me,
fine.
even
I'll
though
boost you a
it's
little.
annoying. But
we
the
should
point is-
actually talk about Pulau a little bit.
Uh,
Go ahead, finish your thought.
Like, just so you know, I get Dallas to think he should ban Ash all the time now.
Well,
so
we're
whatever.
Oh, no.
we're aware. Which I find
Oh.
hilarious because I don't think we played a
Oh,
Trickstar
I'll
game
tell you
The
recently.
problem is like when I was
Here's
playing
the
my
thing, I'll tell
Goku
you
deck, I
exactly
only
why
had
Ash
Ash
is
from
gonna
opening
get
hand
banned
5
by
of my
me.
games, and it killed my
I'll tell
hand.
you why it's going to get. It wasn't the opening hand Ash. I don't actually care about that. It was the several times through multiple games with multiple people that I had a chance of coming back in a game, played a card, was Ash, and lost. That gets Ash banned.
I
will
understand
just shoot that card in the head.
as our number one. What's the inverse of a stan? Number one guy who fucking hates bottomless trap hole.
Hater.
Yeah.
I never get bottomless except for turn 1. Axe always opens bottomless, so it only
I
affects my
only
turn
did
1
that
play.
once or twice. I don't.
Interesting.
That's the thing. is
But
it
no,
doesn't bottom
I
me down.
understand. We'll see. I just find it hilarious because I'm pretty sure I've played some games with you using my Trickstar deck, Dallas, which until my most recent go-around main decked Ash, and I have used it a couple of times, but not usually in such a way. It's very
Like,
funny.
Yeah.
And I
Listen,
own 3
I have to.
Ash.
I need to show you a deck I've made, and it's
We'll
it's
talk
only
about it
limited
later.
by how
we
bad
need
my link pool
to,
is.
chat has been
But yeah.
dead silent for several minutes, possibly because we're just rambling like lunatics.
They also don't. I mean, Chad doesn't say anything with the time last I'm in it.
Wow, harsh. Chat, there's now there's 2 less of you. I guess they were
See,
insulted
this is
by
why
Axe and
you're the
left.
Roman Reigns.
I
But
mean, I'm
chat,
just saying
you should
the
know,
fact
give
this
some
time.
noise. So Pulau
Yeah,
is level 1, but does have 1800 defense. What
Yeah.
a Chad. He is a windworm, so he floats and he gets from attack position because he's got 0. Once per turn, synchro, and then actually this is a good. No, BG was blue, So it's not quite purple, but Pulau being green protects you from spell effects. It's all pretty simple.
He also likes to scream.
It's just the serious Sam. I think, by the way, funnily enough, as the one of the Shadal guys in our format, I think Pulau is like one of 2 Yang Zings I have left over. Because I never got a lot, and I traded most of what I got to Dallas.
I think it's also because he's never been run at more than 2 in anything.
I do actually believe that it has come up. I have asked, hey, Dallas, are you sure you don't need this Pulau? And you're like, no, I really don't. I'm like, okay.
Like the starters are Bian and Suani. And obviously you need 3 Chiwen for obvious reasons.
Well, yeah, you need your tuner. Speaking of which...
Oh,
here's
are we
the
going
red
with,
boy.
Suani. Right.
Yeah, Suani. We already did Chiwen.
Yeah, Lion Boy.
He's the king of the Red Lions.
Shunge.
Alright, Selfie. Yazi. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yazi Yugi.
Right. Which one's... Oh, right, that's the fire one. Okay.
I also want to point out...
Fire of
I don't know what the fuck... I did want to point this out about Biji, because it's hilarious. Japan was drunk when romanticizing it.
Yeah, what's up?
So the Chinese version has 2 pronunciations, Biji and Baizhao, which is confusing when you're not speaking Chinese, because there's another one also called Baizhao.
Yes.
But that's because in Chinese he is called something else. How many romanticizations do you think Japan has of that name, of Biji?
Let me guess. 5.
Yes. Basha, Bishi. Those are the normal ones. Then Haka, Hiki, and Hiki.
Yeah. Like, I assume
God
part
damn
of that
it,
was
man.
just they don't know what the fuck to do with the X syllable either, but like, wow, HB flips.
What?
That's a weird one.
It happened multiple times.
I will say there's an interesting thing of he's like he's like a lion dragon, but he's also like the most actual like dragon. But I guess he's
Yeah, it's
fire
true.
one.
Most of his body is fairly dragony. Even beyond.
I like the other ones, which are more like celestial dragons.
Yeah, this guy's dragons. He's got lion paws and a little tough to lion tail.
He likes to sit down.
I will say.
This one's
Good?
Good.
Okay, I'll go.
This one's... Yep.
No.
Yep.
I was just gonna say really quick. I feel like because of the way his mane is drawn to cover up his neck completely, it makes his neck feel like it's too long, like his head doesn't line up right. And it's just like I just keep looking at his neck mane area and just being like, that's a little weird. It's not a serious hit. I'm just a little like, But what were you saying, Dallas?
So this one is very traditionally used in a lot of Buddhist imagery.
Yeah. Let me see if I can actually... I really wish the trivia page would go far enough to actually, like, communicate the
Because
etymology
lion
to me.
stuff.
Yeah. Lion's very popular. As opposed to what they normally do, which is just once again, to absolutely chaos dunk on the fandom wiki. For some ungodly reason, in the trivia page, they just link you directly to one of the Chinese versions of Wikipedia. And I'm like, fandom, that's not helpful at all. Your wiki is in English. The odds that the people looking up this trivia, not knowing who this guy is, can understand a Chinese source directly is stupid.
Yeah.
It's not helpful.
Yeah.
But all right, here we are. So yeah, anything else to say about this guy visually?
No, he's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's just very standard.
Yeah, this was like the most Chinese dragon looking one.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
As X said earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. This one is a fireworm. That might be a 1%er joke. 4 stars, 1900 attack, 0 defense. So, decent stat line, you know. You're probably not really, especially with their ability to sync on your opponent's turn, you're not probably assuming that a lot of these guys will stick around on their own, but, you know, 1900 is a decent start. And, let's see, special zone and defense, the battle phase synchro effect, and then a synchro monster created using this card as synchro material gets 500 attack and defense, which has been very annoying in the past.
Yeah. And these are all permanent effects.
Yes, no, they are continuously applied.
I would say he has the worst synchro effect, but it is just the most common synchro material, so
Yeah.
it's the one that comes up the most.
Because he is a 4.
Yeah.
And some of these boys you're going to meet later are 5s. That didn't copy correctly.
Yeah, there's a specific 5 that is important. What's the fucking Mickey Mouse meme? That's an important item that we'll need for later.
Yeah. It's an important item that'll help us later.
Yeah, that.
But speaking of synchros, I think we can move on to their first one in the first blob.
Well, shouldn't we go over the other tuner and the 7th guy?
No, those were later.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the first was those 5
Oh.
first and Baja.
Yeah, this Baija is gonna take some explaining to do.
So
I don't know why they called this Baija.
people at
That's not
home
Baija.
may well, I mean, first of all, we can clearly see this guy has elements of other guys. Who could it be? Which is said to basically be the Wambo Cambo of Beyond Suwani and Chiwen, because he's got their bits in him.
I can see that, yeah.
And the
So,
name in Japanese is, Kiryusei Shofuku, Direct Command of
Yeah.
Brightness, which is supposed to be, and they, as you say, I'm noticing the problem here, Dallas. They say Baja in the text, but the translation list is AKA Gongfu.
yeah.
Don't know why they just didn't call him Gonfu.
Because that's not a thing. So okay, Gung Fu is like a slang term that the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki has its own head up its own ass with. Because it just means it's a related style of fucking Chinese martial arts. Dragon style martial arts. I mean, I get the representation of it because it represents technically the fusion of earth and water, which is, I think, what they're going for. But it doesn't really... Like, Gong Fu doesn't mean anything. Like, this guy, as far as I can tell, does not have an equivalent in the 9 suns. Like, he's just there.
Well, let me see. The English Wikipedia has a list. Let me double check.
Like, he's not Chinu. He's not Chini. Or Chinue.
I mean, there is
he's
a
probably
Baja. There is a Baja.
But
Drinks
he
water.
doesn't look like it, though.
No, because that says reptile and dragon. Chiwen is fish and
'cause
dragon.
could
Beyond's tiger. BG
I can
is
show you what Baija looks like, and it's
is
not...
turtle dragon. Suani is lion dragon. Pulau is
Like, Baija's just like an alligator
small.
dragon,
Yeah.
basically.
Chaofeng is phoenix dragon. Yazi is wolf dragon, and Quinu,
Yeah.
which is, I assume, Zefranyu later. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's
guess basically
Zefranyu.
what we're getting at here is,
Well,
they
so they were...
they had the name Baja, and they just were like, fuck, we don't need another we need a synchro monster. What do we pick? Fuck, we'll do that one. And then we wrote it as Shofuku. So I'm gonna guess that's what's up there, because they were like, we need something.
No, yeah, it's the thing about like the Chinese dragon myths is there's a lot of Chinese myths that don't mean anything. Like, they were very cute with we'll get to them later, but the 2 Zephyrs, because they took one of the suns and split them into 2,
Yeah.
and then just bastardized one of the romanizations. Because it's both of them.
Okay,
Bye.
yeah. But yeah, so in chat, I already told you about this funny, but technically, the original printing of Baja here had a misprint. He was released originally in Duelist Alliance. Several of them were misprinted as Worm Synchro, but without an H.
That probably means, I guess, it make those at least $300 worth more.
Well, I mean, if it was all of them, maybe not. But yeah, that means they technically had to release an official errata. No, it's a Synchro monster with an H. There's no new kind of Synchro monster without an H. Shut up, please die.
MR6 Synchro.
Why would
I'm going
like,
Synchro modo.
Cinco de Mayo. No.
I mean, you still say it as synchro. It's
Yeah.
They just still have to.
It's harder to differentiate when there's no H in it if you don't say something slightly different, though. Synchro.
Yeah, no.
Not Synchro. Sorry, we're just fucking with
This is-
phenoms now.
Yeah.
Mr. Baja, though, this is it.
Baja is a card you probably, if you play modern Yu-Gi-Oh, you've seen this fucker because he's good.
Also, he is semi-generic. He is a level 8 light synchro worm, 2300 attack, 2600 defense. And his requirements are 1 tuner, 1 or more non-tuner worm monsters. So the tuner can be generic, and so long as the materials are any worm monster, this means that generic worms, which can include Unmasked Dragon, which is
not like
just
there's
Masked Dragon.
It's not like there's 3 different worm synchro archetypes.
Yeah, worms tend to be synchro heavy. So this just, if you are and honestly, maybe because of the way cards like Baja are formed, that's why there are so many worm synchros. But yes, if you're playing a worm synchro deck, of which there are several, he fits. It's perfectly fine. I think all the rest of his effects are generic too.
Synchro makes sense from like a Japanese myth perspective, or Chinese myth perspective, because
Yeah,
there's a
kind
lot
of
of
same
like
thing.
combining into
Or I guess
like,
giving each other one
harmony
powers to another.
combination.
And
Ding
also,
dong.
he's got a good effect. When this card is synchro summoned, you can target cards on the field up to the number of different attributes of worms used for this synchro summon of this card, shuffle them into the deck. So he spins back cards up to the number of attributes you used, which will, if you're in Yangzing, will be at least 2, probably 3.
Yeah, no, it's still usually 2.
Okay, do you synchro climb with this guy then? Into this guy?
No,
He's
you
an
should
8.
come into him.
Yeah. So, okay,
'cause
that's
remember, Mr. Dingy Dong.
Yeah.
He's a
But
tuner.
even so, still, like, you're looking at it, you have a, depending on the deck you're running, you're looking at probably 2 spin backs, and even 1 spin back can be spicy if you're playing a mono attribute happenstance, like, for instance, Metaphys are all light.
So I didn't have anything to say. I was having a weird moment of being like, wait, what synchro archetype? What worm synchro? Like, okay, wait, Tenny. Wait, no, that's a link synchro.
Tenny is a
Metaphys and
synchro
Sword Soul.
archetype. No, Tenny is a synchro archetype as well as a link archetype.
It has like 2
Yeah, they
synchros,
have,
but-
like, they have some
That's
synchro monsters as well.
And one of their main cards is a tuner that searches itself.
right,
Adhara.
Yeah.
right.
No, they're a synchro archetype.
The
Right.
thing you probably see a decent number of their links these days, and I don't, if you're playing, if you're not playing pure Tenny, I don't know how much you bother with their, I don't feel like I've seen their synchro monsters in a lot of deck
Kinda
builds.
lock-in.
Draco Berserker is fairly common.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that you said that name and I'm like, yes, right, that guy, yeah.
Yeah, Draco Berserker, the Tenny is fairly common.
Yeah.
Well, some of the Tenny links are also not very common. Like, spoiler, no, I'm gonna guess you've not seen, what the fuck is his name? Sasha Rasharara?
Yeah.
That one?
Not that one a lot. It's usually
Yeah, that one is not.
what's
It's
her name?
usually Monk, Shaman, or.
Yeah.
There's
and
the monk shaman,
sometimes,
and then the
Berserker,
merge
but
of-
Yeah, sometimes Berserker because he's a larger boy.
Right, then there's shaman, and there's the one I think it's like the combination of shaman and monk.
Well, yeah, Shahar, but that one's never played.
Yeah.
In non-mono Tenny decks.
Yeah. But so it's very common. It's a recurring theme. Hell, you could argue that while not necessarily directly itself, technically True Kings are an Xyz archetype. If anything, if they are even, you would call them that because there's fucking 4 of them and then 1 extra deck monster. And True Draco are not
'cause
anything.
True King and True Draco are kind of the same archetype.
Yeah, they flow together. but technically there is because they are related to Draco Slayer and Drake Overlord. There's kind of a lineage there as well. They like grew out of the synchro half of their methodology for some reason. I don't know why. They'd probably be cooler if they tried to synchro.
They went to
Xyz,
Xyz, but
I mean they went to technically one Xyz monster, though they are a decent.
that is their only.
If you wanted to go into nines.
If there was a better rank 9 pool, they would probably be a good Xyz deck.
Yeah. Sadly, I think it's just Generator Nidhogg and VFD.
No. There's also Enter Blafnir.
Right, yeah. Enter Blafnir is pretty
Generator
prevalent.
tried to be the new rank 9
Well,
thing.
and to be fair to Enter Blafnir, Enter Blafnir is much like Virtual World, where that's a really great 9 in cheating, because it's not a Mega Phantom Beast card, but it's a Mega Phantom Beast card. Because they, increase their levels by various of tokens. Mega Phantom Beast will be very interesting when we do that one, because, like, they're supposed to be a synchro archetype, but Konami realized that the way they play with levels, you can do a lot of dumb things with them.
Unfortunately, the rank 9 pool has been fucked over by the rank 8 Xyz decks.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are just fucking
Rank ups. They're just Galaxy Eyes, but
rank
bigger.
ups.
Yes,
I'm a
the
Galaxy
chaos
player.
numbers,
I'm part of the
yeah.
problem.
The chaos or chaos Xyz. Yeah.
And then there's like Heart Earth Dragon, which is funny.
Not
But
really
you
relevant.
It's good. When you could summon it, it is a game-ending card.
It's not. I'm trying to remember from Heart Earth. I don't think he's easily summonable if you're playing rank 9 at actual level 9s.
Damn,
No, if you're playing True Kings, he actually is.
I thought me saying I was part of the problem would be funny, but nah.
I mean, it was funny, but we were in the middle of trying to
was.
figure out things with our brain.
Also, we're gonna have to cover Heart Earth Dragon because he's technically. Oh no, he's not. Never mind. Wrong season. I got confused.
No. When we get to an even larger and stupider, because there's literally over 100 of them, we can do numbers. But we're waiting on that one.
Well, no. Heart Earth Dragon's part of an archetype.
Oh, is it? Which one?
Garbage.
Okay. I'm going to ignore Dallas now, and we're going to move on to
No,
the next
literally. No. Okay, Omega, did you think I was joking? Like, the actual garbage archetype. Like Garbage Lord and cards like that.
I disbelieve that that's an archetype.
You want me to
I've
show you
literally
Garbage?
only ever heard of Garbage Lord, and also, Garbage isn't in Heart Earth Dragon's name, so actually, no. That's kind of how that works.
Fair enough.
I thought there was just like Lord and like Golem, and that was it.
I mean, technically,
Anyway.
if they're both level 9, that might be a foundation to summon that guy, but I don't...
Fuck did he summon
They're like
again?
5 and 6.
Yeah, there's only 2 garbage cards.
And are
then
they level
there's
9?
a Cyber. No.
Okay, they're unrelated. Dallas is...
Well, no, because that was
shit.
the guy's
And
dad.
then there's just a random Cyber card that's called Garbage.
Well, yeah, because it's probably about digital garbage. Anyway.
It's called Garbage Collector, but yeah.
Well, no, I can tell you what it is. It's very stupid. It's because the way that the billionaire scientist guy got rich was he made advancements in waste disposal technology.
Oh, Dr. Faker.
Oh right,
Yeah,
Dr.
Dr.
right,
Faker.
because he literally shoves it into a black hole.
Yeah,
Anyway.
he launches garbage as missiles.
We are moving on to our next wave of guys. So, these are all the evil ones. GO2, Darkness of the Yangtze. I gotta say, this art is a little confusing. Like, I think he's supposed to be, like, coiling back and forth. But the fact that he's, like, also translucent, it's a little hard to track what's going on here. This feels slightly non-Euclidean.
Yeah.
I mean, Jiaotu is an interesting character. Let me pull up the full thing, bobber.
It looks like he's like the thing where you're evil, so your body has been inugliated. If that's even a fucking word.
Inugliated?
Well, no, he's if you want to actually know, in lore, this is probably BG wearing Squamata as a hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which is funny because Squamata used to be Satellar Knight Unukalai? Unukalhai? Unukalo, Unukalhai? I don't know. We'll tackle that linguistic problem another
they're
night.
next. I will pick up with what they're good.
Yeah. But we'll be tackling their naming convention later.
Who cares?
So
Jiaotu was one of the Sons of the Dragon.
Yes.
But he is basically known as the Guardian. He is the guard. He was traditionally used to guard the Emperor's doors, and if you've ever seen like a dragon door knocker, that's him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why he's got a door knocker thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this one is a Dark Tuna for Dark Shinkro.
Yeah. There's nothing actually evil about him in mythology. It's just
No. And honestly, other than the fact that he is, piecing himself back together by using a shedall as a hat, I technically don't think that Jiaotu is actually meant to be evil. He's just the darkness. He is Anryusei Jokuto. As opposed to Yazi, whose subtitle is Yazi, Evil of the Yangzing.
Which is funny because that has nothing to do with Yazi. We'll get to there.
So Jiaotu here is a dark level 2 tuner. So you have level 1 and level 2. It has the same stats as BG. He can float into either, like Chiwen. Oh, no, it's a new attack position. There it is. Okay. It is, okay. And then but also accept him. That's interesting. If you control no other monsters, you can send 2 Yangzing cards from your hand to the graveyard to special summon a Yangzing. Sorry, it's because you control no other monsters. I think I missed that one. You can send 2 Yangzing cards from your hand to the graveyard, special summon a Yangzing with 0 attack and 1 with 0 defense, but banish them during the end phase. Not that that matters because you have the Shinkro as the tuner on the board. And then you can only use each effect once per turn, only one that's turn. So you can see he still has the float, but he has a slightly different set of effects. As the tuner, he does not special summon himself per se. He lets you special summon 2 other guys.
No. He's very good in a pure Yangzing deck, but other than that, not so great.
Yeah, because you need the targets and you need the levels to match up. But still...
They are Yangzing cards, but...
Yeah.
And I mean, he's worth it to play just because you can very easily go into some very strong cards. But
yeah. It does still require you to have 2 cards in hand.
Yep.
That are archetype cards that you can afford to pitch, because that's not destroy them, it's send it to graveyard.
No.
Alright. So let us pull up now.
Oh god,
Mr.
this one's
Tauti.
hilarious. Tauti is hilarious because they fucked it up so much. They fucked this design up so much.
He looks very evil.
Is a tart worm.
Centaur.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that, actually, Axe, because in English this is a Tauti, Shadow of the Yangzing. In Japanese it is Maryusei Totetsu, Dracomet of Evil.
Yeah, neither of those have anything to do with the myth.
Yeah, because it's funny because that comes back as a different name later, but at least according to the trivia page, and Dallas can fact check it, Tauti is another way to say Chao Feng, which is the Phoenix one.
No. Not, they're stupid. They're wrong and bad.
I mean, I'm not gonna say they're wrong because I'm looking at the list, and I will say Tauti is not on there, but Chao Feng is.
Tauti is one of the dragons.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's got to be an alternate one. Oh, okay, here we go. Different. For some reason, Wikipedia doesn't break this out into a bullet list. A different collection by a different poet swaps some of the names. So Tauti, form of beasts. Well, that does track at least design-wise.
Yeah,
and
but
then that adds Jiaoti.
So the important thing about Tauti is the dragon of the ever-gaping maw. Notice something that is not happening on this art.
No maw open.
I mean, he has a big mouth, but he's not gaping, yes.
Yeah. Also, he was famous for, he really liked to eat soup.
Dallas, I'm not going to fight them about the fact that they don't have soup in this fucking Yu-Gi-Oh!
No, I'm not. But, I'm just saying, this is why the evil thing makes no sense, because that's literally what he was famous for, is being the chef. Like, he's on a bunch of silverware and cutlery because of it.
And this one doesn't really, other than that he's part of the elements of Yazi, there's nothing really going on here that gets into there like the last. But I will say, it's funny we didn't talk about it too much with...
Traditionally... wait, can I finish one thing? Because it's about the design. Traditionally, he's supposed to have he's a chimera kind of dragon. He has 2 hind bodies, so he has 2 giant stomachs. He was supposed to be part dragon, part human, and part tiger. I don't really see that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what sources you're double-checking. Like, in the Wikipedia, it just says translation form of beasts. He is quadrupedal in this. And I say pedal because those are clearly hands. He also has some very square-ass nails on his hands, which I do not think I like.
Yeah, no.
He has form of beasts. He has, also bighorn sheep shoulders.
I think they got beasts down, but I'll say this. This is easily my least favorite art for the Yang Zangs.
I will say it's funny. We talked about Joti earlier, which is supposed to, they according to Wikipedia, look like a conch or a clam. I guess the shell of Squamata does kind of look like a conch shell, but it doesn't really. Yeah. No, it's not. That's a very, very thin slicer.
Even in traditional Chinese design, sometimes they're a bit like. I mean, it kind of looks like this.
Yeah. Well, and how stylistic versus how quote-unquote realistic your art is really depends on what you're reading.
The big thing is the big thing is he doesn't have a gaping maw, because that's literally what Tautu is famous for.
Yeah,
the ever gaping mouth.
Now he is a big boy. This is another Dark Yangzing, level 5 worm. If it is destroyed, special summon from defense. Once per turn, you can synchro, and then also, he has 2200 attack. He's a level 5. And then his synchro effect is a synchro monster can't switch possession. Which is like the weirdest, most niche effect. I mean, I know brain control and mind control fucking suck. And for some reason, the
Oh, is it like going to rant about the Cyberse AI deck again?
No. I was saying, for some reason, I was trying to remember Change of Heart. For some reason, the TCG decided to bring Change of Heart back to 1. But
that's the other thing.
Yeah, I don't think that Tauti is a very relevant effect. I guess they just wanted to give you a bigger guy for easier synchro summoning, because he is a 5. But it's just kind of like, shit, we used all the good effects already. What do we do? I mean, with the fact that you can alternate the special summoning, the fact that he's 2200, again, not shabby in a deck that special summons out of deck a lot. It's not crazy. I do not believe this guy is very popular just reading his effect.
No. He's like a 1-0 in some decks. And now, especially modern-wise, I've never seen this card played.
Yeah, because you can do other stuff.
Well, usually you don't run pure Yang Zings anymore unless you're me.
That's also true. But it is funny, somebody in chat said that he looks like he is mid-transformation because he is. Yes, correct. Let me find that card art.
Oh my god, this card art pisses me off.
It's time for Yazi, who is called Evil of the Yangzing.
For some reason.
Oh, it is literally just the guy transcending. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, so spoilers for later. Yazi is a 7, and Jiaotu and Tauti are 2 and 5. Math.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't say it's the most incorrect. It's not a perfect, but they didn't go for a literal wolf face, but he does kind of have like a wolfish shaggy head.
Well, it's more the evil thing, because I know why they did that. I don't agree with why they did that, because traditionally Yazi is very common on being engraved in weapons.
I mean, I will say, I think what we're going for here is we're butting up into the issue of, hey, we're trying to tell a different meta-narrative, and we started with these themes, but now we're doing our own themes, so things make sense and we can shuffle stuff around.
We'll get to the most egregious thing later.
We needed basically... This is kind of the, let me actually grab the Master Guide list a little bit later. It's going to be my history. But if I'm remembering correctly, I believe the general vibe here is, Let's see, that's search results, trivia. We're going back. Master Card 5. So I will just search Yazi because I'm pretty sure he has an insert. Yeah, so Tellarknights, Shadol's got the power of connecting to the stars by eating some of them, you know. So, you know, the Dark Yangzings kind of come together, and they are supposed to be the Shadolified versions. They're, like, high on that Shadol energy, but without being Shadols. It's weird. So that's why, and I think they just needed proper nouns is what they were going for. They're like, fuck, we're running out of names. We picked a theme of 9. That sounded cool, but now we need to keep using names. Shit, what do we do? It is, I think, very interesting that unlike some other cards, like the actual previously Shadolified Yangzings, Jiaotu, Taoti, and Yazi are all still part of the Yangzing archetype, and they're not like spellcasters or anything. They're all worms. So, I think there may have been some like the naming conventions and stuff were just like abutting against their, you know, need to build more monsters, right, and fill them out.
Yeah.
But it's a little interesting, yeah. So in Japanese, by the way, this is Jaryusei Gaiza, a.k.a. Dracomet of Wickedness. Because they're really hamming it up that this is the evil version, kind of.
Which is hilarious, because people did complain about him. But do you know why?
What's up?
Because he would always bellow all day.
I mean, he does look like he's yelling.
So he is literally just a screaming cowboy meme.
I would totally play that clip, but the scream is very long, so I don't know how well that would go over. YouTube might have a problem with that one.
But yeah, he's commonly on sword grips. If you've ever seen like a dragon on ancient Chinese weaponry, that's generally Yazi.
But you do notice that, like all the rest of those guys, he is slightly translucent. It's a little weird. So this is a level 7 Synchro, and he is completely generic, by the way, Dallas, to answer your question about good 7s. Though I will say, technically he's only a good 7 for real if you're playing Worm Synchro, basically.
Kind of good in a Worm deck. I mean, he's generic, but he's not.
Yeah, I mean, he has generic materials, and he does have a blanket protection effect. He is immune to targeting. And he's a level 7 Synchro with 2600 attack, 2100 defense, so he does beat up Stardust Dragon. That can be worth it, but his primary advantages come when you actually use him in a Yangzing and Worm Synchro deck, basically. You can use each of his effects once per turn. First, you can target a Yangzing monster you control and one card your opponent controls, destroy them. So you get to pop and go plus. And then when this card you control is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a worm monster from your deck in defense position. So he floats into any worm, and if you're playing Yangzings, he does have a double pop effect, and technically, you can pop himself. He is a Yangzing card. So if you were playing a deck with worms, you could hypothetically synchro him out, and then just after blowing himself up as like a targeted nuke. It's not really as good as like a Black Rose nuke, but there's a little bit of interesting flexibility here. But obviously he is best in a Yangzing deck because you get to plus like a shitload.
Or other worms.
Yeah, if you're playing Worm Synchro, you've got the things. You can go
Spoiler, you've probably also seen this card at Potter. Yeah. Also, he's full health on combo.
Yeah. Luckily, you can't do that anymore, thank God. At least in the real TCG. God knows if they'll ever fix that in Master Duel. Will they fix anything?
Fixing Master Duel? Oh.
Yeah, that was how we started this. Technically. We got a little sidetracked. But yes, that is the Z who is Ya.
Yazi.
So then they took a little bit of a break for a couple. I think they took like a set off before they introduced any more Yangzangs. But we do go on to the next one, which is also we get our complimentary Zephyrs.
Yeah. These are actually very important cards in the deck. I don't think there is a single Zephyr card that is more important to its actual deck than these two Yang Zing.
Sounds about right.
Well, one of them specifically.
So we start with
Zephyr Nui.
Yeah, Zephyr Nui.
To clarify, the next two are actually both the same dragon, which is the Dragon Dragon.
Yeah.
Literally, Chi-Nui.
Yeah.
But they fucked up the last part. We'll get to that.
So, and in Japanese, this is Hiryusei Sephira Shugo. So, you know, Zephyr is Sephira.
Sephira. Because they're not being subtle.
Secret Dracum. I mean, they were definitely not. The actual Master Guide is completely unsubtle. It calls it the. I think it actually uses the Sephiroth with the T. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is our pendulum, our arbitrary pendulum, which I don't really think you really need to go for the pendulum part.
Not really, no.
Though funnily enough, it's very weird. So Zephyr Nui here is an Earthworm Pendulum. It is a scale 7. It has 0 attack, 2600 defense. It is a level 6, but obviously that doesn't matter actually to Yang Zings.
I mean, the other fun thing you can do, or fun part about it is, like, I'll say this is probably one of the best cards in the archetype, because not only is it a keystone card in Yang Zing, it's also a keystone card in Zephyr.
Yeah.
So it's a major card in both archetypes.
Yeah, so its pendulum effect is very simple. It's like all the other Zephyrs. You can only pen Yang Zings and Zephyrs. This effect can't be negated. Not a big deal. The 7 is a nice number, I guess. But its monster effect is when this card is pendulum summoned, or when this card is destroyed by battle or card effect while in your monster zone, which I think is a little bit of a bum rush there. You couldn't even bother to make it destroyed when it's a pendulum card. I guess this was still fairly early in pendulum. We weren't ready for that shit yet. I've been playing a little bit of some. I've been playing some later pendulum cards, like I've teched in some Abyss Actor stuff. Some of those guys still proc if they're destroyed, period, for their monster effect, even if they're in your pen zone. So you could have made that work, Konami. Not that it matters, but that effect is you can add a Yang Zing or Zephyr spell trap.
Not that they needed to buff this card.
No, because it's already a universal.
It was part of 3 different tournament decks.
Yeah, it is already a double-edged search card.
Yeah. Spoiler: both Yang Zing and Zephyr have an Omni negate.
Yeah. Which it's not. It's a little bit before we get to 9 pillars, but I do actually want to pull that card up, and we can card art up, and we can talk about it. We have a little bit to go.
Not that. How many are there in total? Like 15 cards?
There's like 3 more.
Yeah, it might be right. Hold on, let me double check.
I mean,
there's obviously supposed to be 9 core ones.
I'm gonna go on a bit of a
combo
rant on
combos.
one.
This might be one of our shorter ones compared to.
Well, I think we should do Zephyrath just because we've covered most of the Zephyr
14,
cards.
15.
All right.
Yeah, we can do that probably when we get to the final phase, because there's only dang long and 9 pillars in that one.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna go on a bit of a rant with Danglong though.
Okay.
I'm gonna warn you.
Hey, go for it. We can kill time. How long have we been doing this? We only been doing this for hour and a half.
Like an hour 30. Hour 30.
Yeah.
Ish.
I had to wait for it to catch up. But first, we have the other half of the scaly pants. Interesting. So, I guess I should say, before I take him away, is there anything visually to say about Zephyr Nui?
I love his derpy-ass dog face.
I'll be real. I thought he didn't have eyes originally. I thought it was just the thing in his head. He had like the hole in his head. But
he has
no,
eyes.
He has eyes.
He's got metallic wings, no arms.
Yeah, he's being Sephired right now. He is also slightly translucent again for some ungodly reason.
Well,
Again, the
dragon,
worm thing.
Yeah.
He's got rocks because he is an Earth. We have just had to let you know he's an Earth. He's got rocks. And he has a weird, goofy horse face. Bleh. Or possibly a cow face. I don't know. He's got a nose ring. He's got kind of big ears, like a Goobus Lorenzo. Let's move to the next one.
Cow, dog, goat face.
Well, technically the same one, but yeah.
I mean, the card is separate, Dallas. They are physically 2 cards.
Oh, yeah. I know.
This is... I assume... Well, we had this listed earlier. Is it Zefraji or Zefrashi?
It's Zefrashi.
Yeah. Or as we
Or
would say
Zefraji.
here in Murica, Zefraxi.
I mean, I call it Zefraxi because that's what it should be. It should be Zefraki.
Yeah.
Traditionally with a Q, but
I assume that was probably because, as we've discussed, I'll double check the Japanese version, but it was probably pronounced something completely different as the Japanese word anyway, so that was probably on the localization team.
well, the problem is it's a 2-half one, so
Yeah, so this is Horyusei, the same syllable as Hogu, Noble Phantasm, great treasure. Treasure Dracomet, Sephira Fushi, which could be romanized as Fuji. But yeah, I guess they leaned a little too hard on the Japanese lineup of the split phenoms. Anyway, he a statue. Like, yeah, this guy's a statue.
yeah, this is a very traditional Chinese architecture style statue.
I knew it was familiar somewhere. I just couldn't place the words for it.
It's technically a lion statue, I think.
Yeah, he
Right.
definitely has some. He has a little bit of a lion bits on him.
But
It's the
Well,
the
the
aesthetic
Chinese
style apes a little. Yeah. Hey, guess what? Most of the people making lion statues in China hadn't seen a lion in years because Asiatic lions had been extinct for a fucking long time. A lion is a dog with an afro, right? Seems legit to me. But that's okay. Europeans do the same thing. Unicorns, those are just antelopes. You just looked at them in profile and thought they had only one horn, like an idiot, like a moron. Medieval bestiaries are great, by the way. You should absolutely look at them, especially if you need weird D&D monsters.
Oh no.
There's some great shit in there.
Can we do 9 pillars first? Because I also have to do a mini rant on that.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that. I mean, we got to do Chao Feng first because he's in this block of cards.
Oh,
but yeah.
right, Chafang.
Yeah, they have another Shinkro. They have several of them. Do we have anything else to say about?
I mean, he's like the least used card in
Zephyr
Yang
keys.
Zing decks. He's not very good in Yang Zing.
Yeah, he is a level 3 Earth Pendulum, 1500 attack, 0 defense. So it doesn't even have the amount of attack is beyond there. Pendulum's effect is the same. You can't except for Yang Zings and Zephyrs. If this card is pendulumed or special summoned from the main deck, you can target a Yang Zing or Zephyr you control. That monster, it becomes a tuner. Also, place this card on the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field.
I mean, it's very rarely useful.
I assume what they're going for here is more on the Zephyr side, so that you can turn your random Zephyr monsters into tuners so you can access the Yang Zing package.
Yeah, turning Zephyr Nui into a tuner is fairly good, generally.
But primarily, this is of no benefit to actual Yang Zing decks because you already have 2 pretty good tuners.
You still run him at 1 just because in the light case scenarios, he's very useful for synchro climbing. But
All right, so we have, speaking of synchros,
definitely a 1-of.
and again, that part doesn't really matter because he, they special summon from deck. That's even his effect, right? So you can just get him out there. Oops, I needed that tab. Let's play musical tabs. So, the card art for our next man's.
Should be everywhere because this is like their cover poster child for the deck.
Yeah, this
It's
is
also the one that gets put on Master Duel.
Here is Chao Feng,
So that,
the
Dragon
prettiest
Burb.
one.
well, very specific kind of bird, yeah, but
Yeah, it's a phoenix.
yep, it's
But-
the Dragon Phoenix.
Still, but not a Draco Phoenix. That's a different card.
No,
Shut
no,
up.
no, that's a different card.
Shut up. We sue ourselves for copyright. But yeah, no, Martha's correct. This is the prettiest one. It's very sparkly. They've given all kinds of anime sparkles.
I don't think I ever remember seeing this one, but maybe I just not seen much.
I don't think Dallas gets to make this one a lot.
It's very hard to do. Like, you can actually make this card abusively strong if you do it very correctly. Like, you can make this into one of the best towers in all of Yu-Gi-Oh!
All right, this is.
I have seen Dallas make this one a little bit.
You have to do. I think Farfa had a table 500 that showed perfect Chao Fang.
Yeah.
Recently.
So
if you make him with all 5,
yeah.
or all 6 Yang Zings,
to cover what we're talking about, this is Chao Fang. He is a level 9 light synchro worm with an H. 2800 attack, 22 defense, so pretty decent stats for a 9. Is technically generic. Not that you would ever want to make him generic, like even more so than Yazi. Like this guy, you get basically no benefits if you're not playing Yang Zing.
No.
But his effect is, while this Synchro Summoned card is on the field, your opponent cannot activate effects of monsters with the same original attributes as the Yang Zing monsters, with a parentheses, used for the Synchro Summon of this card. So this guy is, if you do him properly, is just skill drain on legs.
Yeah. And if you do him super properly, it locks the game out.
Yeah. When the Synchro Summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, add 1 tuner from your deck to your hand, which is technically generic, but again, the main thing is the skill drain effect doesn't work unless you're playing Yang Zing, so... and then, once per turn, when a monster your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a worm monster from your deck in defense position, whose attribute matches the original attribute of one of those, which is, again, probably only useful in Yang Zing, because they have so many different attributes. So, yeah.
Chao Fang is actually very nice, especially if you're going up against a person who's playing a water or wind deck.
Yeah.
Because if you make Chao Fang with the only attribute your opponent is playing, and then make him with Beiji and Paolao, your opponent basically can't out him without a Kaiju.
Yeah. Or without some kind... Like, they could... I mean, as you say, that would be fire anyway, but a card effect like Blaster that activates in hand, I think. Let me see.
Yeah.
No, it says activate the original... Yeah, so it's not even in hand. Yeah, it blocks it everywhere. Yeah, so like we said, if you can get the correct attributes on this guy, and remember that they synchro monsters have their own innate protection effects, he is basically undunkable.
No, he's very nice to close out sometimes.
Makes sense, because he is a 9.
The problem is he requires a lot of brain power, so it's usually easier to just make Baija and spin your opponent's board.
Yeah, you just bounce his board.
No, you spin them. Baija returns to
deck.
Yeah,
technically spin. Yeah, you flip them all back. You like put those back in your deck. Which, again, is, I think we've discussed this before, the spin back to deck is probably the rudest thing you can do in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because that is, like, the one place where most monsters can't actually activate their effects.
I still think Banish is if you're not playing any Banish recovery.
Well, Banish face down sucks, because you just can't interact with those cards.
Or whatever the fuck you want to call, cards like Floodgate Trap Hole and Drowning Mirror or Quaking Mirror Force 2.
Flip,
flip face down, no change.
Yeah, I don't think we have a term for that, but we should probably call it being floodgated.
I have found a card that is immune to Floodgate Trap Hole.
You mean besides a Link monster?
Besides a Link monster. So Benkei, if you trigger his effect, avoids Floodgate Trap Hole. Because they floodgate him face down, and then he triggers his effect to change his battle position.
That is pretty funny. Also, wow. Jesus Christ, Ghost of Loth coming out of nowhere to type in text chat, not to the people in the stream chat, which is why I will tell you this, being put in the banish down, face down, ass up. God damn. What a way to show up.
Ass up, that's the way we like it. Anyway.
What a powerful way to jump in. But yeah, Chao Fang is a big bonkalus. Dallas has actually done this fairly decently to me, I think, in some test games. I don't know if it was on camera.
I've seen this one
a couple of times, and he's hard to deal with if you do it correctly. The main thing
the
is, as
problem
we've
is-
discussed, Yang Xing already requires brain because I think almost all of them are hopped. So,
No, none of them are hops in their summon effects. Their float effects are not hops, if I remember correctly.
All right, we're gonna fact check Dallas now.
You can do that. I'm not afraid.
He wasn't saying he was.
I could be wrong.
Wasn't saying he was fully confident about it.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain they're not hopped. I think they are once per chain, though, because of rulings.
Okay. You can only use this. Yeah, no, their summon effect is hopped. You can only use this effect of blah 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 of the Yang Xing once per turn. Like I just pulled up Pulao, and there's no way the others are any different. But that's the summon effect is once per turn. The synchro effect, quick effect, is not hopped. Not even any kind of hopped.
I also think Chi Wen is not hopped.
Yeah, because Chi Wen has a different style of effect.
Yeah.
I believe most of the primary guys are.
And it assumes because you're vanishing that you don't need to hop it.
Yeah, no, his summon effect is No, actually, no, they are both. It says at the bottom. You can only use one Chi-Wen of Light of Yang Xing effect per turn, and only once that turn. So both effects are only once and then hopped. It's just at the bottom of the text. Again, the main thing is I don't think it matters normally because you have, like, literally, like, 10 of these guys in the main deck.
For Chi-Wen's 3.
No. I mean the total Yang Xings.
Oh.
Like, you have, like, 10 different names, right?
You wouldn't run Tauti, so you can...
So, like, 7.
Yeah,
8.
somewhat.
You have a decent number of names, so you can manage your hops, plus they have those effects that only proc on your opponent's turn anyway.
And besides, you can always just... Since most of them are also worked by, like, it's once per turn. It doesn't mean once per your turn.
I will admit, I have been fully cycled. I have had my Yang Xing deck be fully cycled once. Because Unchained blows up a lot.
Yeah, Unchained they love to destroy. But still, it's... Yang Xing is a somewhat brain power deck because you have to remember, okay, who did I summon last? So we need to go into this guy, into that guy, we do this.
What position will this guy be summoned in?
Yeah, it's like, hold on, what card just got blown up that's in my graveyard? Yeah. Okay, so I want to summon this guy. You know, and if you can brain power correctly, Chao Feng is a motherfucker. Also, once again, I would like to reiterate, I do believe we have once again proven the fandom wiki is dumb. Because they're like, this could be a reference to what's, just maybe the daddy dragon. That's why he's level 9. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I read in this Wikipedia list, one of them is called Chao Feng. Yeah, I know.
The Phoenix Dragon.
Yeah, no.
That's
so
it does
I literally read that in 5 minutes on Wikipedia.
It does look like a Kajaku, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is 9 stars. That is certainly a thing, but that's not what the name reference is, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
But,
Okay. So we're going to do this in this order. What were you going to say,
you got, like, Spell and Trap left, or what else? Do they have
yeah. We already mentioned what Path does, and Path doesn't have an interesting card art. Like I said, it's just...
Yeah.
Ooh,
I want to look at 9 Pillars and talk about it.
Yes, I also thought because it has a interesting plot thing happening, we should bring up 9 Pillars, so I will do that now.
It has some very interesting mythology about it.
So yeah, here it is, 9 Pillars of the Yang Xing.
That is kind of important.
Yes, there's several things happening in here, which are important facts for later.
Tree got lifted up.
So I'm going to assume what they were referencing in the 9 Pillars of the Yang Xing is I believe they're called the Dahi? Or Dahi? Dahi? Dahi?
We're not going to correct
Dallas just keeps saying phenomes, and I'm like, I can't help you if I can't read, buddy. I don't have a linguist's ear.
Oh god, why did I just, no, okay. Diharani, sorry. Darani, the Pillars of Heaven, is basically the pillars that hold up the world, which, looking at that picture, is just kind of ironic.
Yeah, and
I'm holding up the world.
The
tree.
pillars thing is definitely a localization. The phrase used in Japanese, this is Ryusei no Kyushi, as in branches. So it's just the 9 branches, i.e. the 9 sons of the dragon.
More into the Zephyr part of it, because the Zephyr is the tree and the branches and stuff.
Yeah.
But 9 is there aren't 9 pillars of heaven. There are 99. Yeah. But I understand why they went with 9, because 9 is Chinese lucky.
Yeah.
It's the good
and
number.
To be fair, the TCG probably wouldn't want to accidentally drift the name too much, because it's like it was 9 branches specifically. Q as in Q before G.
Spoiler: a lot of ancient mythologies really liked the number 9.
Yeah, 9's a very popular number. 7's a very popular number.
Even though the Sephiroth is 10, I believe.
Yeah, it's actually 10. 10, I'm sure, is also... I've always liked 10 as a number, but I assume that's probably just because we count in base 10 because of 10 fingers.
Yeah, probably.
That's just, 10's a very easy number for most humans to wrap their head around. You just look at your hands and go, how many fingies do I have? 10. And then some asshole is like, no, you've got 8 fingies and 2 thumbs. And then you stick your thumbs in his eyes, and you're like, how many thumbs do I have now, bitch?
0, because they're not coming out of my eyes.
Thumbs are just fingers anyway, so...
The point of this story is, chat, don't be a pedantic caveman. You'll get murdered.
Never mind, that was dumb. Don't be a Dallas half the time. That was half the time he's a pedantic caveman, half the time he's a mad genius.
Axe just comes out of here with the fucking prehistoric chair. Crack. All right. So yeah.
I think I could speak Axe, so I'm pretty confident.
There's some great interesting things
funny.
happening in this image. You can see the tree rising. I think this is by the Klee zone.
It's just
but it's the tree, a sacred tree is raising up. If
Master didn't, if Master wasn't lying to our faces, this is about the time that Winda broke the system and summoned the Cleese.
Yeah, and then, or it could be after that, and this could be when the Infernoids crawl out of the hole. I don't know. Well, we discussed this. The Master Guide 5 storyline is full of a lot of, and then it got worse.
Yeah, this is very weird. This seems like it's at the very end.
Yeah, but we've got the tree and the pillars and the guys, and it's a very interesting artwork. I don't know what the fuck this artwork has to do with its effect.
Actually, here's a weird thing. Are they dematerializing into the energy? Because it looks like part of his limbs are.
Yes, I do. I assume this is because they have there's 9 of them, and they have the orbs, the pyroxenes of the Gem Knights. They are returning their juice to the land. Because they were remember when we started this, Constellar Sombre made the first 8 of these guys by giving them the original pyroxenes out of the ley lines, and then she went out of the space energy from space. And I don't know where the 10th guy came, where the 9th guy came from. No, actually, that's 9.
No, you're actually kidding.
What's up, Dallas? What did you find?
So, we'll get to it later.
Okay.
Also, to repeat what you said earlier, because Becca was talking earlier, so I don't.
Which part?
Oh, what after you said I had the chair, and then Dallas said something, but you were talking, so I couldn't understand what I said.
Give you the chair.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So what 9 Pillars does? This is a counter trap.
It's an Omni negate.
Yes. When a spell trap or monster effect is activated, and you control a Yang Zing, negate
Is an
and
Omni
shuffle
negate
back.
tuck?
The joke here is it's Omniate, which means it's the only trap that modern players know exists.
But
That's
also,
not true.
it is a very mean Omni Negate because it is also pluses you. It replaces the cards, basically. Because you negate, you shuffle into the deck, you do not destroy, and then you mandatory destroy another Yang Zing card you control. And you have to control a Yang Zing to activate it, so you always have something. So you will do an Omni Negate, you will spin that card back, which probably sucks for them.
And then trigger a float.
And then you float into advantage, probably.
It's not the best Omni negate, but it's a good one.
It's a pretty good one, yeah. The funniest ones are shit like, I think the Galaxy Eyes one is an Omni Negate that negates everything before it in the chain.
Yeah, Tachyon is fucking amazing. The problem is, though, it's hard to actually fucking...
Yeah, it is hard to resolve because I believe it requires the proper monsters, but it's
you have to go, in a going second deck, you have to go first basically to have your thing ready.
I assume what the idea is that it's for when you are forced to go first because your
Also-
opponent is like.
Also, though, is that you could use it as a hand trap if you have one of the weaker Xyz payoffs.
But yeah, it's still that's one of the funny ones. There's a couple of other like really spicy.
Is probably like I would put it up there with Infernity Barrier in terms of like they're the generic Omni negates. Like yeah, it tucks, but that's not like.
Man, if we ever do Photon Galaxy, that's gonna be a long fucking time.
Yes, that's in our list somewhere. I don't know where we're gonna go there. Oh,
I will tell you when I will try to help cut through ones who are saying these ones are bad. You don't have to think about that bad.
Bootleg Infinite Impermanence is a funny one.
Yeah.
What's the worst Omni negate?
I think the worst one is Battling Box because that's only battle phase.
That's a bad one. I think I remember the Gravekeeper one being a little situational because it was early.
It's been It's been theorized that like they've been doing a bunch of like attribute, like all the attribute based like port sets recently. That like they make a fire one might have like just various fire ones like Battling Box. I'm trying to remember other one like people were saying possibly volcanics, but probably.
I mean, actually, no. I think that if Konami has any guts at all, the headline archetype has to be volcanics if you're doing a fire set.
But also like
Battling
Box.
They're themed after duelists. How many actual fire duelists are there?
Right. Was Battling Boxer, and then what else? What's a good fire one? Not Infernal.
No, Inferno would not be Infernal because that's not an anime guy. Battling Boxer was a guy.
It has to be Salmon.
Yeah.
So those three would be actually pretty good, actually.
Yes, Salad were very meta for a long time, but then they got banned, and now that they're unbanned, they're kind of.
They're
I found a worse Omni negate.
Okay, tell me, Dallas, which one is it?
In my opinion. Sorry, Omega. It's one of your archetypes.
No,
I think dual barrel. I think dual barrel roll might be worse.
Ah, yes, you are actually correct. Dual barrel roll does suck.
Is that just a dodge?
It requires
no.
you to tribute all of your Mecha Fandom base tokens.
Yes,
to do it.
It is an Omni negate that requires you to ditch all your tokens, which means that you ditch all your protect. Like literally, there's a better way to do that. It's called make Dracosac. I just be like, I am immortal. Fuck you.
Honestly, I don't get why it's not tribute tokens equivalent to what kind of effect it is.
I assume what they were going for is just you're going to make a shitload of tokens. That was a very early Omni negate as well.
Can you make tokens on your opponent's turn?
I found a worse one. I think this might be the worst one. It's a generic Omni negate, but it's oh my god.
Talk to me.
Vanity's Call.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing
first
about
line
this.
of text. You may only be activated as Chainlink 4 or higher.
Yeah.
And then, including, you have to pay half your life points, then Solemn Judgment everything in the chain.
Yeah, Vanity's Call. I've heard of that one before.
I think you should just play Galaxy instead.
Well, also, or alternatively, you should just play fucking Solemn Judgment and just negate the first thing in the chain. No.
Oh, hey, there's a worse one.
Strike,
this is Judge, where you have to coin flip just to get the Omni negate.
I mean, I don't think Miss Judge is actually worse because she doesn't require you to pay anything. It's just fucking random.
Well, no, I think it's better.
Presumably, if you're playing Miss Judge, you're probably playing her in a coin flip deck.
Yeah.
Wait, Shadow.
I mean, Miss Judge is like bad. I don't think it's worse because Chainlink 4 is ridiculous.
Chainlink 4 and you have to pay half your life points.
Scroll techniques, which is
like
weird.
Miss Judge is bad because, especially because it's a mandatory effect. Like I think that one's worse than do a barrel roll. But
I think Dual Hugs is crazy, but Vanity's Call is number 3.
Oh, does our boy the Dual Logs have a worst Omni negate list? I gotta watch that later.
Does Mr. I've made up 4 other YouTubers that don't exist, so I can say 5.
Spell Trap. What's this one? Face Off. They put that as number 2.
I don't remember that one.
It probably describes the effect.
It has 6 samurai on it.
During the damage step, if you do to destroy it.
Yeah, that requires you to understand the damage steps. That would doubly bad.
Also, most effects can't activate in the damage step, so it's basically just no Colute, no Honest, no Dark Honest, cease.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have put up the boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Ding Dong on the screen.
Dang long.
Very golden and very statue.
Isn't a dragon.
I mean, the word long is one of the ways you can say dragon.
Yes, but Danglong is a specific mythical creature
It
do you
reminds
want to know
me.
its traditional name? It's not Denglong.
It makes me think of the two Zephyrs put together.
That's probably what they're going for. What is it, Dallas?
Wen Chun Ho.
Yeah. Now, Denglong, I believe.
It's also not a specific person. It is a type of creature.
I mean, I will say again. I gotta. No, they do link to English Wikipedia. Okay, because the wiki says that it's got a legend that it's one of the dragon sons, but
there is a.
Oh, wow, that is literally. It's also not fucking sourced. Thanks, Wikipedia. Legend has it that Denglong is one of the sons of the Dragon King, and has a habit of guarding. No citation. You usually need to cite those, by the way. You can't just say a legend has it. That's like I heard from a guy.
I heard from a guy.
No, but Wen Chun Ho is traditionally like one of the like symbols of all good and righteousness and like goodness.
Yeah.
Like it is literally just the shining beacon of luck and prosperity. Is basically
and he
what
has
this is.
10 characteristics that resemble animals.
Yes.
Which I will
it's
say,
like
this
all
Denglong does not. Really.
No. Well, to be fair to most Denglongs, do not.
Yeah.
Like, I will give the art team props on this. I will post a picture of a traditional Denglong statue. They messed up one thing, but other than that,
I hope it's not. Okay, it's actually normal size.
no.
I meant the image, but yeah. It looks more like a weird. I can't place it, but it's some kind of like.
Well, it's 10 different animals, or
Yeah, it's
supposed to be
10
close to 10.
Yeah, it looks like
I
that.
can read out the list.
But I mean, that's not too far from what they're doing. I'm fairly certain they like reference that statue.
Horns like a deer, head like a camel, ears like a cat, eyes like a shrimp. China, what are you fucking smoking? Mouth like a donkey, hair like a lion, neck like a snake, belly like Shen, so a type of dragon, scales like a koi, front paws like an eagle, rear paws like a tiger.
Wait, you haven't heard that? Dude, there's so much shrimp and like fish stuff in Chinese mythology.
No, I have not. I need to look this up, mostly because I can probably mine that for like Delta Green, because a lot of people call Migo space lobster, and there's a lot of fishy stuff.
There's so much like. If you ever want to do Cthulhu themed stuff, just look at Chinese mythology, because like, holy shit, is there so much ocean stuff?
I will say the weirdest thing.
Makes sense. Judging
I mean,
where
they're like the weird between like I think mosquitoes and lobsters, and others think it's a weird piss.
I mean, it also really depends on the artist. As usual, Lovecraft was very vague, and he was just like, it's got long clawy bits and goopy tentacle bits. Like, sometimes the Migo are literally called the fungi from Yuggoth, and I'm like, okay, you can't be a flying space dragonfly crab and also be a fungus.
I thought the fungi was more of like their hive mind thing.
Well, they're still called fungi, and I don't... unless they are like spores that form an exoskeleton, but
are you saying there's
a lot of I have fallen in a research hole once today already. There's a lot of deliberately conflicting mythology in the mythos that occasionally people attempt to sort out, and usually that means they're doing it wrong.
There's just to point this out, because I think it's hilarious and I love it.
Yeah.
There's an entire genre of Chinese traditional oil painting that is just paintings of shrimp.
God damn, this guy loves shrimp.
Shrimp is bomb.
So, this is the feared Danglong First of the Yangzing, the esteemed Ding Dong, the man who is banned.
Sorry, I was looking up Chinese mythology. I need to share this with you. It's one of my favorite creatures ever, and I want a D&D creature of those. It's called the Hundun.
Oh yeah, the Hundun.
Okay.
Chaos, baby.
Pure chaos.
I love how you literally could just see this. Like, I feel like I could just see that thing show up as like a capital U entity something. Be like, what the fuck is this thing? Sorry.
So the thing about Mr. Denglong, so this is an interesting one, right? You know, they use Genri again, but they use a different character, so it's Dracomet of Origin. So this guy's banned in the TCG. Though as we discussed earlier, I believe we may or may not. We'll probably once we reprint him, we'll probably let him out of jail. Which would not necessarily be surprising. I think even Yang Zing's got in like the structure deck manga once. Some of the cards appeared anyway, so like
I believe so.
It's not unheard of. The primary thing is Danglong here is a Shinkro tuner. He is a level 5 light worm, 0 attack, 2800 defense, so very tanky for a level 5. It is technically generic.
He's also pacifist.
Yeah.
And this one actually is generic.
Yes. So if this card is special summoned, you can add a Yang Zing card from your deck to your hand. So he searches on summon.
He searches the Omni Negate.
Yes, you traditionally you search 9 pillars. Once per turn, you can send one worm-type monster from your deck to your graveyard. This card's level becomes the sent monsters because it's a Shinkro tuner. It's for level fixing. And then if this face-up card leaves the field, you can special summon a Yang Zing from your deck. You can only special summon Danglong once per turn.
Mostly because if it gets sent, because it gotta work for being sent back.
Well, normally the most Yang Zings require to be sent to graveyard, which is probably what I would normally assume. But they're like, no, fuck it. If he leaves the field, which is why honestly, depending on the format, you can understand why Danglong might be banned. He almost always, if you're building him correctly, will fetch an Omni Negate. He is a Shinkro tuner with a level fix, and guess what? If you sync him off, you trigger his Yang Zing effect.
So the reason he got banned was that.
Yes.
The reason he got limited, rather. Excuse me. The reason he got banned is because of another card. And yes, this is the latest edition of We Died for Halka Fibrax's Sins. Because did you know Halka Fibrax has a second effect that lets you go into a Shinkro tuner?
Partially.
Yeah.
I don't own the main. I don't own like the level 6 water dragon.
Yeah.
Then I forget the name of it.
It's you could go into Danglong for free, which triggers Danglong effect.
Yeah.
So turning Halka Fibrax into a free Omni Negate.
With Hulk at 1, and with this guy only able to summon at once per turn anyway, and Hulk also does that, I believe Hulk does that on your opponent's turn anyway, because he's a Crystron. You could probably put Danglong at 1. The Hulk Dawn line doesn't exist anymore.
I think you could put Danglong to 3 and it wouldn't do anything, but...
I mean, like, I for sure think you could put him to 1. You can also probably put him to 3 because he can only be summoned once per turn, period. Like, you can even if you, like, got him out of the extra deck and then, like, normally put him in the graveyard and tried to reborn him back, you can't do that on the same turn. So, he can probably come off now.
Yeah.
Yes, love is correct. Fuck the Hulk line. I just, I thought that was an issue, but I did not realize how much of a pain in the ass that was.
Yeah,
like,
I understand though, Mikey. You didn't know.
Like, I knew it was popular, because I have used Halka Fibrax in like Adamantipator, but not Auroradon, and like I have seen people play that line. It took until MBT doing the stupid idiot, the Masochist Banless Tournament. I liked more on Banless Tournament better, but until doing his Banless Tournament, and I saw literally every goddamn deck do Halkdon, I was like, oh, okay, this has to go. This is just...
No, that's just modern Yu-Gi-Oh!
Stupid. Now. God, this sucks. We should not have to deal with this literally every deck.
And you all got angry at me every time, like, I want these cards dead.
No, you wanted Hulk dead. I was like, I feel like people talking about the Auroradon line as a pain in the ass.
Yeah, with Hulk at 1, I no longer need it. I don't want Hulk at 2. If they bring Hulk back to 2, I will.
I suspect they will probably not do that because, as we've discussed, Hulk goes and stuff. But also, as we pointed out, Hulk is a Link 2, and there's a deck coming soon that just fucking Konami. Why, Johnny Konami? Why have you done this to me?
It's like technically. The weirdest thing is, like, they technically can't do... We're enough, like, on the...
Honestly, Hulk might get banned because...
How splites work, honestly, considering how, like, I don't think they could make a rank 3 Link 3 or rank 4 Link 4 equivalent because those are way more cumbersome.
Oh, God, no. If you tried to make a rank 4 that made out of a Link 4, that would just be...
You could maybe make a... No, because there's...
Maybe Link 1s, but that's probably too good.
I mean, if there was a benefit to using a Link, I could see 3 working.
Yeah. But 4 is just way too much investment. You either need usually 2 link monsters or 4 actual monsters to get out there, and you're like, to do that to then overlay into a rank 4, it would have to be a hell of a rank 4. Yeah. Especially considering rank 4 decks are already good. Spoilers.
Maybe if they ever do that Utopia Dawn 1000 fusion, that can be what it is.
That would be pretty hilarious.
It has to use a link 4, a sync 4, and a pendulum 4 as its materials. And it reads, you get to walk over, kick your opponent in the dick, and steal his cards.
I feel like that's doable.
When I summon this card, when you special summon this card, your opponent takes 10,000 damage. This effect cannot be negated.
I was more thinking that your opponent's effects cannot be activated until 2 turns.
No, just do the win the game. You take 10,000 damage. The game's over.
Dude, okay, I'm gonna be real. The biggest complaint I have about Yu-Gi-Oh! As a card game.
I think that
do more stupid win conditions.
I think that was a topologic Gobbler Dragon's Back cannot negate this effect damage.
That's my favorite thing in Magic is to do stupid win conditions like Mortal Kombat.
Card art on Zephyr.
I would love a stupid tournament winning game.
Which is like I think Mortal Kombat's win condition is have 30 monsters in your graveyard.
But yeah, obviously Ding Dong's very good because he almost always fetches an Omni Negate, but he can come back. He's okay now.
No, yeah.
So this is Zephrath. Or in Japanese.
Wait, no, allow me to say the Japanese
name
for it. Because holy shit.
Why is it wearing a
Saphira Toragrammaton.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying.
No, it's literally just Sephiroth Torah Tetramaton.
Yeah.
It's literally all of the Pantheon.
Well, no, it's different parts.
Yeah.
It's
also like in the heavens.
Jewish question mark.
I mean, as I said before, as a long-standing Weeb Dallas, you're correct. No, that's how a lot of. Do you know how many things there are named after the Ars Goetia demons besides the thing we all know because this is primarily an FGO channel, kind of? Still our biggest videos. Like, no. Those guys are just everywhere. Why? We don't know. We think they're cool names. Also, you can spell them like 5 different ways, so our phenoms don't matter.
To put this into perspective, if I were to translate this into a Christian name, this is basically Eden Bible God.
Yeah, or to make it the right punch, it would be like, Eden Bible Jesus.
Yeah, because it's the Sephiroth, which is the tree of knowledge, the Torah, which is the Bible. Right,
this thing was
the Tetragrammaton, which is the name of Yahweh.
Yeah, the 4 letters of God. Which the Japanese people fucking love the Tetragrammaton for some reason.
I don't know why. Jewish people barely use those fucking things.
Just so you know, it's because as someone that has played a bunch of SMT and understands the weird thing about tabletop style Japanese occultism.
Yeah.
Which is the whole thing. They look at Christianity as basically a form of occultism and a form of weird off battle.
Well, that is true. To the Japanese people, Christianity, for instance, is very goth because apparently some of the issues with Christian missionaries did not properly translate to the greater Japanese culture. This is why you always see so many Japanese goth girls wearing crosses because they're like, hold on, that's torture device. That's weird.
It also translated also it's something I figured out a long time ago. It also translated something really into Fate, but that's a different thing.
Let's not go over Shimosa.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that bit. It also might be because once again, the Japanese like goth. The Tetragrammaton is literally 4 letters. 4 is notoriously, bad luck. The number of death in Japanese as well.
I just think it's just really funny that I only ever hear the term Yahweh in Japanese mythology.
I'm pretty sure it's because normally you're not supposed to speak it.
Well, no, you say the different one. You say Elohim.
Adonai, yeah.
This is just how you would write it. It's literally just a written down name of God. You can say it. There's no like weird like you cannot speak. Do not speak it. That doesn't exist.
So to the design of this thing, I wanted to bring up like besides the, I think something that's something similar to a Jewish star, and then also the actual stars, and then I don't know what's happening on its right side. But you guys get into that later. But
I mean, this is all the some of those we'll get later when we do the.
Oh right, he does just have a Star of David on his cock.
Well, it's technically it isn't because it's also just the hole on the Yangzings, but now just gold plated.
It's clearly very.
Why does this feel like a fusion of Rainbow Dragon and Light and Darkness Dragon?
Well, funnily enough, it's because while it isn't those monsters specifically, it is kind of that because this is the ultimate Zephyr Man, which is all of the Zephyrs stacked together.
It has an interesting. It's like is it marble and then like with weird gold trimming or like gold plate trimming, or but it also has like the 9 cores in its.
I mean,
weird
marble's probably a good guess. We should be clear. This is technically a rock.
Wait, it's a tail.
Yeah, apparently this
statue.
thing battled the second greatest thing, which we'll talk about later.
And if you're wondering what's in the
for 1,000 days,
what's in the tail axe? That's the Yangzing core / the Pyroxenes from the Gem Knights.
That's what I said. That I for some reason the way it looked like I thought he was holding it.
No, it's his tail. Yeah, that's his tail. He has 2 hands down there. He split into light and dark like several of the. I think the I don't remember their names, but we'll get to them later. The Zephyr Shaddolls.
Yeah.
It reminds me of this design.
He has the same level, which is 11, as Sophia and Tierra.
Yeah, no, he is the god mecha that they use to fight Tierra, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
Tierra.
weirdly enough, is that I've noticed that this is actually a kind of common color scheme for a Japanese idea of godly deities that are known for being the creators and the destroyers.
I can't get over that his name is literally Eden Bible Jesus.
Because it's like I've noticed
so
it's also kind of recurring here, where it's like this is their design for Zeus, which I feel like kind of fits too, of like Akaku creator and destroyer.
And there are several Yu-Gi-Oh monsters with this schema as well. Even Sophia is holding a ball of light and a ball of darkness in one hand, even though she has other weird shit going on. But yeah, no, Zephyrath, he is a rock. He is level 11. He is a pendulum rock.
Do you want to go over his effects?
Yeah, we should also let everybody know, once again, to remind you, this is a large boy. This guy has 3450 attack, 2950 defense.
Yes.
And he is a large man. Large rock, level 11.
Wait, he's a secret evil form?
I mean, kind of, yeah. Like that.
He has Exoton Knight in his
Yeah,
scene.
he's got
wow.
like talking about what shit makes up this guy. There's like so many in the list.
Oh, so Exoton Knight is a Zephyr now. He gets resurrected as a Zephyr.
Wow.
And it is also technically the 11th Zephyr monsters because remember there were 10 chosen of the Zephyr.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is our much like your boy what was it? Constellar Knight Diamond. They didn't show it until later, but the ultimate form where we stacked all the Constellars and the Gem Knights together. This guy is basically like that. We have Voltroned literally everybody together. We are now a giant rock dragon.
But he is the power equivalent of what's their names that fucked off and started all of this. Kirkion and
Sombre.
Sombre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
just went to
we should
yeah.
We should read his I think his let's start with the pendulum effect. It's on the top. We'll start there. During your main phase, you can, and he's scale 5 by the way.
Yeah.
During your main phase, you can add 1 Zephyr Pendulum monster from your deck to your extra deck face up. If you do, change this card's pendulum scale to be that same as that monster's until the end of this turn. You can use this effect once per turn. So, even before MR4, we learned about, loading your extra deck. Put monsters there.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's not the most bullshit effect, but that is one of the bullshit effects of Electrolyte, is just put a pen in your extra. Monster effect. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your face-up extra deck by tributing all monsters you control, including at least 3 Zephyr monsters, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. after you special summon this card, you can conduct one pendulum summon of a Zephyr monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your pendulum summon. You can only gain this effect once per turn. Once per turn, you contribute one monster, special summon a Zephyr from your deck. So yeah, this guy requires you to put him in your extra deck to summon him at all, because he must be special summoned by attributing all your monsters, presumably after you have pendulum summoned. But he gives you an extra pendulum summon of Zephyrs, and you were playing him in a Zephyr deck, because duh. And then also, you can just tribute a guy to special summon a Zephyr. Damn.
Yeah.
And he's huge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and by the way, Zephyr have an Omni Negate as well.
Yeah. They have 2, because they also technically make use of 9 Pills of the Yang Zing.
Yes, but they're, I don't remember the name of it. What was it again?
Zephyr Divine Strike?
Yeah, Divine Strike. That requires you to have a Zephyr in your extra deck.
Yeah.
It is not as, I do not think it is as spicy as 9 Pillars.
Clarify, face up extra deck.
Yeah, face up extra deck. You have to have a pendulum basically out there. But because this guy tributes a guy to get a guy, you can also probably do that setup, and then you have the key. So you have a negate, and he's just fucking swole, and he lets you swarm. He lets you pendulum summon again. It's pretty baller. Dallas, anything else you want to add about this large man?
Nah, just that was what I giggled about when I finally looked up his Japanese name, and I was just like, "Oh God, be kidding me!"
Yeah, it's pretty extra.
Like, it's not surprising, yet it's not surprising.
It's very Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very like, you don't understand.
He's
Like,
literally.
I know most of the world doesn't understand Judaism, but you really don't understand Judaism.
I think it's more the thing of they think it just sounds cool.
Yeah. No. I mean,
'Cause
they
it's
just
literally a celestial dragon god.
he's got his little black stars like a constellar. It's a cool card, and the name is just goofy. Zephrath with the double A could be like Dot, the unified 10 Sephiroth, but yeah, it's anyway.
Slight reference there, probably, yeah.
Also, I need to pull another one from the peanut gallery. Earlier, Loth said, "Our Lord and Savior, Voldemort." I don't know if he meant to put the R there, but it's funnier that way. Talking about how this guy is part Evil Swarm, I think. But yeah, that's
What
a
do I have left,
Discraft.
or no?
That's it. We've been doing this for 2 hours, but it is
You wanna call it here,
11:30.
or you want to do something? Or you want to go show? Just
We could call it.
You want to show?
here. I mean,
do
I
you
want
wanna
to bring up
show-
the poll,
Oh yeah.
so we can talk
Oh,
about
did
that
I
for a
win
little
again?
bit.
It's like
It's
one
not
or two,
over,
I think, right now.
but
it's like,
let me bring it up. You are doing pretty
am I
good,
winning?
unless it's changed. No, okay. So to remind everybody, we do a fail portrayal poll in addition to your regularly scheduled like other random stuff and me trying
Okay,
to
Omega, I have to ask you this then.
shill for more subs. Yeah, what's up?
If I win 3 times in a row, if I get a 3-peat, can we do my favorite? Can I put my favorite archetype in now and next, even if it's the longest?
what is
Even
it?
if it's
Oh,
long.
DDD.
That would be DDD.
I mean, sure, you can put it in the list. I
mean,
mean, Marth picked Harpy, which is not the largest, but is not the smallest, to be sure.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
I'm
think,
putting DDD in next.
but yeah, I think Harpy. So guess Ramen picked another waifu archetype.
Well,
Well,
believe it or
also-
not, those aren't winning. So
eventually,
we do a
you guys go with
monthly-
Secure or security.
we
Force.
do a monthly fail portrayal poll. You can vote in this poll by being on Studio Omega's Patreon at the 5 and up level. So consider supporting now if you want to change this up. And you can influence this. This is a multi-vote poll, so I ask for people to vote for everything they like. I don't know if people actually do that, though, because our current front runners with 5 votes each is Ancient Gear and Fluffle Frightfur, which is Loth and Dallas's picks. So those are both tied for the lead, though it's not a crazy lead. Charmer, which is what I vaguely remembered David talking about last time, and I needed a 6th, is at 3. That's our next best. And then Harpy, Lunalight, and Magical Musketeer are all tied for last at 1.
I
Wow.
think we voted for ourselves.
But
See,
I will say, with 5 and
I
5,
don't
there's still some wiggle room.
participate in that poll.
I'll say this: I could guarantee you I didn't vote for myself because I'm not a patron.
Actually,
Me
out of
neither.
this room, the only people who can vote are technically me, because I can't actually do that. I don't, though I'll have to figure out a tiebreaker later if they stay tied. an axe. Which is honestly, while a couple of you can vote in the poll, Robin could if he wanted to get off his butt. I somehow doubt
I will say I did vote for Frightfurs because I actually like them too. I
mean, no, genuinely, I think there's even a comment about Frightfur. Like
Frightfur's
people I think are actually quite interested in Fluffle Frightfur, and I will get over my PTSD from Legacy of the Duelist to do it.
Yeah, Omega, please don't ban my deck when I eventually play that. I'm like one card away from playing that deck.
I don't know. We'd have to play it in Limited and see how it is. Also, the Pendulum decks in Legacy of the Duelist fucking suck because they're built for MR4.
That's true.
They changed the Master Rule, but they didn't actually give you better decks.
Don't take your rage out for Sora on me.
But I am a little surprised
anyway.
Ancient Gear is actually getting up there. But yeah, it's clean. Like I said, support us on Patreon at the 5 and higher. That's our silver tier or better.
Like,
you can vote in the
Gear's
poll.
a good archetype, in my opinion.
I mean, they also have. It also might be worth showing some of their continuous spells because they.
And they have a very distinct aesthetic that people recognize.
I don't think we need to show Castle or Fortress because they're.
I mean, I thought they looked cool just to show how they grow in design.
I mean, we might just throw a bunch of them up at the end because like Workshop
once.
exists, Castle Fortress exists.
I think
Gear
Workshop.
Town
I think showing all like the field-based continuous at once is worth it to show.
Yeah,
Like
Gear
I don't
Town's
think Gear
definitely-
Town is very exciting art-wise, but it's very important to talk about because it's fucking stupid. It has been stupid for literal years. Fucking Gear Town was dominating Junior Journey.
Yeah.
And not even when it first came out, I don't think. This was the 09.
God, I made such a disgusting list before that ban list.
But yeah,
I made an FTK list for that Junior Journey
Swag.
bracket.
What are the ban list got that
Oscar
out?
Lepiscu is not an
okay.
card.
The Oscar Lepiscu, okay.
And I don't believe they've banned Black Garden.
Oh no, they didn't even. I don't think they even thought about it.
Yeah,
they
they
did
didn't think
realize
about
that
it,
Oscar
but
Lepiscu
Black
can do an
Garden-
FTK.
Yeah, I have a feeling Black Garden might make an appearance on the run back. What were we dumb and didn't ban? Because in Junior Journey, if you turn one Black Garden, if you turn one, plop a big guy down in Black Garden, you just kind of win.
It turns out that there's so Omega. I think I know this is maybe the worst joke to make towards you because you have a weird trauma about this, but the problem is they're also dealing with the problem is that their format is only just big assholes.
No. That's. I mean, they literally talk about that. Junior Journey, by eliminating the need to tribute, is just a big ass. Like fucking Joseph and RJ are literally talking about. Do we need a bad Blue Eyes White Dragon just so we don't have to see his stupid face anymore? Because he keeps coming back, right?
They keep making him better.
Yeah, but no. It turns out if you can cut your if you can make a 3K beater, and then the biggest monster your opponent can make is 1500. You just do win.
Though they do still have access to MST and the one Dust Tornado, so you can remove the garden. But yeah, that's definitely a triple Black Garden list could absolutely do a salty run back. I'm very excited.
And Black Garden Oscar Lepiscu is just disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, they won't have to deal with that because they banned Oscar Lepiscu.
Yes, NBT was correct, and just like, there were a couple they looked at and were definitely like, yeah, we gotta no.
Like, I don't know if I agree with them banning the lizard that they ended up banning. I think.
Yeah, I
don't know if
they
they
hit
ended up
Cardio.
banning it or not, but
Gotta double check.
I definitely agree with them hitting Udu and Aspis.
What set is this? Go watch Junior Journey. It's cool.
Yeah,
I think MBT doesn't get enough love for it, but it's great.
It's like my second favorite series he does. Well, third, but my favorite series he's done is Dead.
What was it?
It's oh god, what the fuck was it's the one where he wore an Ushanka and pretended to be a communist.
God, what was it? It was the boss one.
Some of the big boss monsters that do dumb things. The series. That's how I remember.
I didn't know that was a series.
Well, he's not done it for a while, but let me. Turbo Tuesday.
Yeah, Turbo Tuesday.
Yeah, he makes a deck to turbo a dumb boss monster.
Yeah,
I'll be real. My favorite thing for him is usually the 10-minute testings that actually have intros.
I'm also not gonna lie. I've been like he calls it cheap content because it is, But I've been loving these fucking.
Oh no. The
Twitter
Twitter threads are funny because they're. I've talked about this before. The Twitter threads are great on the back of.
Oh, we did a new one today.
Yeah, it's about the gayest Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I loved it. It's hilarious.
Like, if you have a
but also true. Like the edited video is just like, no, you're right. Like what he brought up the new Witchcrafter Fusion monster and pointed out a detail I didn't even notice. He's just like, yeah, no, they're literally holding hands, and I'm like, I did not notice that before. You are correct. Wow. Okay. No. I think we can safely say that those videos are carried on the back of Dyer because. Dyer edits them down from a stream.
Who was the guy referencing to it? They were saying YouTube straight. What the fuck was that about?
I don't know. I didn't get that one. I'm not going to comment on it.
Well,
I do know there are a shitload of
be honest about that one. I don't think either of you got that one because you're not in the gay community, and that's kind of an inside joke.
That is fair.
Because I think Dyer's trans, so
the joke of it is how many YouTubers are straights. And
I mean, I do know that there are a lot of YouTubers who do what you might consider, like coded actions, like the or at least actions that were not, considered super straight. It reminded me of a comment about something from I think it's from one of the Ace Attorney games where they bring up the word metrosexual, and nobody playing these games in 2020 are like, wow, we haven't heard that in a while.
Why am I back in 2008? Who turned my lights off?
Guess what? Because those games were localized in 2008 or earlier even. But there are a lot of YouTubers who and people who dye their nails or dye their hair and other stuff. That's
that's more becoming just a stylistic thing.
Well, it's also referencing a bunch of YouTubers who were very big, and then eventually made coming out videos that were a surprise to exactly none of their gay audience.
Yeah. That happens too, but no, the Twitter thread videos are great usually because
I can't remember the guy's name. I want to call him David Dobrik, but it's not. He's another British guy.
But there's a great focus down there. But yeah, Turbo. If you haven't ever watched Turbo Tuesday, go give MPT an infusion of views. They're pretty funny.
No, they're great.
Because they're super short, but they're just hey, either one of my patrons or my friends on the internet, or just I found a random bullshit, stupid, idiot boss monster. I'm gonna make a deck to turbo it out and see how that goes.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it is one of those videos that he can't make more of because he's he finished it. It is a video series that he could conceivably finish, and unless Konami, fingers crossed, make another obscenely hard to summon overpowered boss monster, he can't make another video.
Yeah, but they usually don't. For instance, and I mean, they're not always boss monsters. He's got a Wattfox Wattlock one, but I just searched it and it's Chaos End Ruler, Timaeus, Knight of Destiny, Spirit of the Pharaoh. He does have a Zark video, Loth, Time Wizard of Tomorrow, Gimmick Puppet of Dark Strings and Earthbound Greater Line Walker, Mirage Knight, obviously. Jurak Meteor was one I remember.
Yeah. Armatile was always my favorite.
Yes. He's got one for Darkness Neosphere.
Yeah.
Deus Ex Crawler, Dark Sage.
Original Yubel Wiseman.
Yes. Armatile Chaos, Phantom of Fury, Zushin the Sleeping Giant, a very popular one.
Yeah.
TG Trident Launcher. Oh, he's got an FA Winners.
Yeah.
Thenian the Great Sphinx.
And see, because those are the cards I want Konami to print more of, because I love... that's what I love about a lot of Magic cards, is they just have fucking bad and not professionally viable...
Dallas, I'm going to tell you, you know what I think is happening? There's no core Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. There's no anime they need to keep making up bullshit cards as a plot arc for that is the normal format.
Until they eventually just make anime about the archetypes.
No, that's the thing. I kind of hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fairly certain while Rush is popular, and I think with Go Rush it's here to stay, I do think they said that they were so far only interested in creating 2 series. Not 2 seasons, but 2 series. But so I think we'll see whether or not when Go Rush finishes, which was obviously its own whole thing, it just started not too long ago. We'll see if they want to continue that vibe. But I would not be shocked if eventually they get back to some kind of core, proper Master Rule Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, if only because that's easier to to market, but we'll see how they go there. By the way, I think we have our first ever.
Yeah.
No. That's right. They did actually talk about there will be some Blackwings in the Darkwing Blast set. Duh.
I hope it's of like the weird side.
I mean, there's at least one Darkwing Dragon retrain that actually does stuff.
I mean, I was kind of hoping they'd also do the dumb thing. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, those Blackwings are all just about the new Blackwing Dragon.
I was honestly hoping that they do the dumb thing of, because Blackwings has a weird side archetype of being about big tributes.
No, it doesn't. That's fake. We're never
No,
we're
it
not going to
does.
acknowledge this. But you
but
never
like,
play those guys. They all suck. They only
Yeah.
happen in 5Ds. Nobody likes them. They're not going to bring that back. Unless they give them like inherent specials, but even then, like that would be the 5s and 6s.
I mean, Blackwings are mostly inherent special.
Well, yeah, but the problem is, Axe, the ones you're thinking of are not inherent specials, and they suck.
So you want them to turn a Blackwings into a rank 10 train deck?
I mean, if rank trends get more support, that'd be fun. Never mind, I'm kidding. But, no, I'm not. Actually, no. I would say, you cowards do it. I want more train.
Right.
He wants more Nazi trains.
Right, the ones who
Off.
played the trains was someone and a...
You know what? I'm Jewish. I can get away with it. I don't care.
That's all.
Oh, that's a character on a train.
Okay, that's why. All right, I'm like, love. I don't understand the context of this.
Six Samurai has a train.
I mean, they're doing fun stuff. The Animation Chronicle has released, like, they're doing Doodle Monsters. They've released some Amazoness traps. They finally actually created some of Duke Devlin's dice cards from the virtual world.
They look fucking cool at how jank they are.
So fun. Did they just import the ones from Duel Links?
Should we go?
I don't know. So we've
actually
got Dice
should we go
Dungeon.
show them?
Okay, Dice
I can
Dungeon.
probably rig that up.
I mean, we have time, so might as well just show some cool
Dimension
jank.
I mean, I can
Dice
also.
or
I
something.
think I can just do this easier. I can just, like in a different window, do a fucking screen grab copy paste for the dice, at least the dice ones.
My
I can
gun
fit-
needs dice.
Because I remember reading them and thinking they were kind of fun and just like, oh cool. I hope there's
Oh,
cards
yeah,
that make
no.
where you can cheat your dice. I kind of hope there's a card where you can cheat your dice rolls.
They probably will have those eventually. But so, Duke's Dice Monster cards from the Big Four Dueler are coming out. First is a field spell, Dice Dungeon. When you activate it, you can add a Dice Dimension, which is the other spell card from your deck to your hand. At the start of each battle phase, you can make each player roll a 6-sided die, and if they do, apply these effects to each monster on the field based on its controller's result until the end of this turn. So if you roll a 1, loses 1,000 attack, gains 1,000 attack, loses 500, gains 500, attack becomes halved, attack becomes doubled on the high
I
6.
assume it does. I guess the thing is it dodges. I guess the only thing it doesn't dodge. It dodges being able to be targeted, but it doesn't dodge towers,
Unaffected
or
by
just not
spell
being
effects. Yeah.
or unaffected by card effects. Yeah.
Or card effects, yeah. But so you apply these effects, but still, you can just be like, oh, you've got a towers, I ignore you. My monster, his attack is doubled. Fuck you.
Honestly,
and
then
then the other
if they
thing
could probably
is
bank
Dimension Dice is just a normal spell card. If you control a card that has a dice rolling effect, tribute a monster, special summon one monster that has a dice rolling effect from your hand or deck.
that's
So,
pretty good.
Yeah,
actually.
this is just gonna make dice rolling decks like jank decks work.
Because also the weirdest thing about that is the field spell counts, so you're already.
Oh yeah,
good
no,
there.
and it searches it, so you can immediately, if you have a monster, you can tribute it to bring out a guy.
Wow.
Let me
Yeah,
see if I can.
I've been working on making a fucking Desperado Dragon deck. Probably never gonna play it because our format's too high.
Well, maybe
powered,
when this
but
comes out, you can try.
I'll build it at least.
Well, Desperado is a coin flip.
Right, coin flips, which is separate. Heavy Metal Raiders.
Okay, that's the TCG Darkwing Blast. Trying to find the Darkwing news, Blackwing news.
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck.
I really
I'm just
wish
happy
there
that they made
were.
more dice cards.
Oh, here we go. Set spoilers. That'll probably be in there. Okay, there are some better. Okay, that's Duelist, Vija Promo, were reprints from the deck build pack. There were extra Starlight rares. There's the OCG World Premiere pack. There's the tournament pack. We've got the full Defo spoiler. Are you gonna not do the Blackwings thing? You're not, because these are all from TCG or Rush Duels. Oh, YGO. YGO organization, I love you, but for the love of God, first of all, who in your format loves the Rush card game so much? Somebody literally posts every new Rush card that comes out in the anime episode.
Yeah, just singular.
And I'm just like, please stop, or at least self-segregate in a category for if I want that news.
Actually, yeah, please just make a
because it's like
please
it's
just make
such a pain in the ass to like go through actual set spoilers. I listen. I love that you. I love that you love Rush. That's really cool. I would love to watch the anime sometime. I would really like to be able to find the information you guys are allegedly for. I know, like, there's 2 Amazoness trap cards. I know I found those earlier. One of them is Hot Springs. It will be censored in the TCG.
Yeah.
What's it do anyway?
So Audience Room is when this card resolves, add an Amazoness monster from your deck to your hand, from your graveyard or face up extra deck to your hand. If it's a Pendulum monster, you can place it in your Pendulum Zone because they have Pendulum cards now. That's good.
I mean, hey,
if your opponent special summons a monster and you control an Amazoness, you target one of those monsters, gain LP equal to its attack. That's also decent because you sometimes get punched in the face. Amazoness has a lot of battle protection, not a lot of don't get your life points lost protection. And the Hot Spring, both of these are continuous traps, by the way, is when this card resolves, add a Amazoness from your deck to your hand, or if it's a Pendulum monster, put it in your zones. When you take battle damage and you control an Amazoness, gain LP equal to the damage you took, so it just replaces itself. So these are weird, slow searchers, but they do fetch cards and can auto-set up your Pendulum zones. And they got there. We also have the Advanced Crystal Beasts, by the way, are going to be in the animation pack.
Requires Advanced Dark, which is, I think,
I believe Advanced Dark already exists.
I know it does. I forget what it does.
It's just turning them into old darks, and you could just send a dark monster instead of letting your.
It's such a weird way of doing
damaged.
Like, the weirdest thing is it's like they're less retrains and more like they're weird side grades.
Well,
they're not retrains. They are the dark version from the anime. Because it's the animation Chronicle Axe.
It's when Jesse got possessed by Yubel.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about their effects are also just improvements upon the basic. But I guess because it requires having Advanced Dark always on.
I mean, they were also just the dark version.
Yeah, they had different voice actors. Well, they had the same voice actor, but Goku was no longer doing the Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. Because yes, Amber Mammoth was voiced by Goku.
Oh, you mean Sean Shamel?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. He did quite a lot of work in GX, I believe.
Yes, he did. It's really funny.
Welcome to Omega Just tries to find some fucking news. Can I just site search Blackwings?
I 100% maintain that the people who made the Yu-Gi-Oh dubs were self-aware and how little budget and equipment they had.
Here it is, like, DBL Blackwings Return. So you've got Blackfeather, Burai no Vata, Vata the Knave, Tuner, special summon with first check. So if you control a Blackwing other than Vata, you can summon him from your hand. During your main phase, you can send this card and one or more non-tuners from your deck to your graveyard, whose levels equal exactly 8, and then you can special summon Blackwing Dragon from your extra deck, and you can't special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Dark. So, Vata lets you Shinkro from deck, but only to make Blackwing Dragon. Then we have... Actually, yeah, sure, fuck it. There's card art stuff. Let me actually throw this up.
I don't remember if they did this, but did they make the retrain of Blackwing Dragon also qualify as a... Does it count as a Blackwing Dragon? Or Blackwing monster?
I think so. Hold on. Let me get to it. So I'm gonna tuck you guys in the... Actually, no. I'll keep this tucked over here.
There would be, like, black feathers.
The fuck? God damn it, OBS. Give me the chat window. There it is. All right. You guys go over there. Let me scooch this back.
Hey, Omega's fighting with OBS. Take a drink for the drinking game.
Wait, that was a thing?
I mean, I have to scooch all my
I mean, if we ever made a drinking game, that would definitely be a part
I know,
of
but that only comes up like once every 6.
Omega has
it comes only once every 6 stream.
No.
I mean, every time we do an audible like this where I try to pull up my window, I usually end up like, no, OBS, I didn't want that window. How dare you?
Yeah,
so, Vata the Knave, you can see him right here. Our next one is Shamal the Sandstorm. It's another tuner. It's a level 4 tuner.
Okay. Missed opportunity. They should have called it Darude the Sandstorm.
But they're named after winds, Dallas. Darude is not. You can use you can send this card to your hand or field to activate Black Whirlwind. Just once again, fuck you, Black Whirlwind for free, and then
Black Feather Whirlwind.
I'm pretty sure that is actually Black Whirlwind.
I saw the next.
Oh, okay, because I was wondering if like they made a retrain.
I saw the next art. Why?
Unless there's a spell here, I think it's.
Yeah, they did make a retrain of.
Okay, I don't see it in this list.
It's right there.
Oh, there it is. That's what it is. Okay. Well, we'll get there then.
We'll get there.
Yeah, but
So
actually
if
missed
a
this
Blackwing Synchro Monster or Blackwing Dragon is special summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish it, and then it gets... You can add a Blackwing to your hand and gain 700. It's not really that good. Chinook the Snowstrike.
This weirdly looks like a retrain of another one I've seen before.
I don't like this card.
What's
Or-
up?
Like I
Why is this Blackwing humanoid when no other Blackwing is this humanoid?
I don't know. Why does one of those Amazoness monsters look like Crow, but as a muscle girl?
don't know.
I think there's something going on in the art department at Konami right now, guys.
You're the furry, dude. I'm just gonna say it.
it's humanoid as its faces, but I remember one like this already. Isn't that the really orange one I'm thinking?
Well, there's humanoid. They all have humanoid like.
Some of them,
stature.
I mean, we can scroll up to Shamal is not, but Vada here is, wearing fucking pants.
Humanoid is not what I mean. It's the human face is what's bothering me.
Chinook has like a cute girl face, even though the rest of her body is burp.
Yeah, and that is unique to Chinook because no other Blackwing has human face.
Chinook reminds me of Breeze the Zephyr for some reason. I don't know why. They seem really
Oh
similar.
God, are you one of those people that read the female list and thinks Breeze the Zephyr is inherently female?
No, I just that they look similar.
So this is a non-tuner Blackwing. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to
I just think their face looks similar.
basically pitch a Blackwing from your extra deck to the graveyard to make that monster lose 700 and negate. It's a really weird way when you can just fucking collude. I don't know.
I still don't like the art.
I mean, that Sevator is reference to like how Blackwing Dragon I think does stuff with like clever tokens, but
yeah, but it's
still not the greatest number. Again, you can just collude. That's 1400. The
does
negate
this
is
make
cool, but you don't need archetype cards for that. There's already like 5 billion Blackwings, I think, is the problem. So far, I don't think any of these guys have been crazy good enough to matter. Like, Vada's effect to add the Whirlwind is probably relevant.
He lets you sing from deck.
Yeah, but only into Blackwinged Dragon, Dallas.
I mean, they're both like it's level 4 and level 2
retrain
tuner,
as well.
so yeah, it's
no.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Doesn't the retrain need Blackwing Dragon as a material?
It probably does, but that's still.
We'll get there.
No, okay. It's just one tuner synchro, one or more non-tuner synchro monsters.
Which Blackwing have a bunch of.
Yeah, I don't know that.
I mean,
they
Vada
actually
could be useful.
Vada could be useful because it's just free resources into the graveyard, and there is some Blackwing cards that do have
I will
graveyard
bring
stuff.
up like that. I think Sufri here makes you think of just one of the other. It just makes you think of a Blackwing Synchro of how like they're armored and have a weapon.
Slytherin just looks emo for some reason.
It looks like a Blackwing Synchro, which usually have
He's
weapons.
got guns. It's a little interesting. But Suthri, the Illusory Spark, level 4, 14/14 on these second effect once per turn. When this card is normal summon, you can add one card that mentions Blackwing Dragon. Search. You can tribute a monster to summon a token, then you take 700 damage. You can't special summon except synchro monsters, and the token is level 2. I assume that's so you can level fix yourself.
It's not a tuner, but yeah.
It is a tuner. No, it is. The token's a tuner.
The
Yeah.
token's a tuner.
So I guess this is so you can fix levels and make a tuner if you don't have one.
Besides,
It's got some utility.
you go into this and then you just play the other ones that special hand where you have a Blackwing, so you
Yeah.
just get the other 3 out. So
We do have another level 6 that's not a synchro. So you did get another big guy
it's
axe.
bigger than Sirocco.
Kokyu no Zonda of the Timely Night. He's red. He has a sword. You can't special summon from the extra deck monsters except synchro monsters. Well, that's a weird, shitty continuous effect. If this card is normal or special, you can target one monster on the field, return it to the hand. That's good. You can banish this card, special summon a level 5 or higher Blackwing from your hand or deck, then take damage equal to its attack. I don't think I like this guy.
He's an extender. Interesting. Basically,
I mean, no, he's not
special...
an extender. How is he an extender, X?
You synchro him into the grave, and then you banish him to get another card.
But it's a level 5 or higher card, so it sucks.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Overlay?
I mean, if you have like a level 1 or
I guess
2,
you can make Ultimaya Zulkem, but I'm pretty sure you can do that easier.
You could make Full Armor Master after using like a level 4 synchro.
You can't make a level 4 synchro with this guy. He's level 6.
No. I'm saying okay. I'm saying I meant a level 4 tuner, and then use another card you pull from it to go into another. Because there's a 7s, and you have a level 1 tuners and level 2 tuners.
I mean, Axe, I know
know
you're generally a positive person. You're not putting this guy in a Blackwing deck. It's not. Yes, there are lines. There are way easier lines in Blackwings already. This card doesn't need to exist. He is a large guy. He doesn't have an inherent special. I don't really know how you would special him in Blackwing off the top of my head, but I'm not an expert in all the Blackwing cards.
That card, that effect's actually ridiculously good.
What, the level 5?
The level 5 effect.
Deck.
Because remember, you forgot.
Or you get the Poison Wind.
Yeah, he gets Poison Wind. And that's Blackwing's main starter now.
I mean that's pretty good, but then he's got to be in your graveyard. I guess you just pitch him in a graveyard.
Yeah, if you
still seems really shitty. How much attack does Poison Wind, by the way?
The other thing you could do, because he doesn't say he can't special summon himself, so you banish him, summon another copy from hand or deck.
True, I guess. You don't want to do that. I mean, this guy literally says you can't. You can only use your extra deck.
I'm sorry, this card to me just reads Search Simoon.
Yeah, I think that is what it is. Dallas is correct. I think this is just Simoon copies 4, 5, and 6.
It's coming from deck, right?
Yeah, and you just have to figure out a way to bin him. How much attack points does Simoon have? Could somebody answer that for me?
Let me check.
1,600.
Yeah. And then, I mean, yes, the effect is funny that it bounces one. It's just kind of clunky. For the casual mix, everything we're shitty posting about Blackwings. I think
he will be good just because he searches Simoon.
Yeah, I still don't know that that's a great move, but, you know, again, Blackwings have, like, all the cards in the world to pick from. But you are correct. Simoon is very good. He is key, so...
Yeah.
Okay, Simoon's not on the wiki. The fuck?
We're waiting to hit enter.
You're probably spelling it wrong.
No, I'm just at the page and I was like trying to find the S.
Well, don't look at the page because the page is sometimes stupid. Look in the category box. Either look in the category box of every Blackwing or just search the Poison Wind. So we do have our new advanced version, much like how we got Ruddy Rose. We've got Blackfeather Assault Dragon, Blackwinged Assault Dragon. He does have a his name in Japanese doesn't have a space, even though the TCG to OCG translation of this is really funny. So this is still technically not a Blackwing.
It needs to not have a dash in it, but we'll see.
No. I mean, in the OCG, Blackfeather is with a space, but this guy doesn't have a space. So they are assuming he will be translated as Blackwing because he doesn't count as a Blackfeather.
Oh, okay.
So, like I said, the TCG is, like, backwards for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, so yeah, you do need, you can special summon this with
yes.
Blackwing Dragon.
Yeah, you
so
can.
That does make, what's-his-face semi-
It's the alternative. It's the alternative thing,
yeah. But then you still need a tuner Synchro monster out.
And, like...
I just find it...
Blackwing has a dime a dozen of those, though.
I mean, they have a lot.
I find it interesting they called it Assault Dragon when they have Assault mode, and it's like, wait a second.
I assume that's a key because I don't think they ever did a Blackwing Dragon Assault mode.
I mean, this card is good.
This card is good.
This is just the Despia monster.
Again, it's in the same vein as, like, Ruddy Rose, you know. 3,200 attack, 2,800, level 10.
I mean, this is literally just the Despia monster. What's it called? Masked Dragon...
Nah. Seeing as I'm special, if your opponent activates a monster effect, place a black feather on this card. If you do, you inflict 5 damage. During your opponent's turn, you contribute this card with 5 more black feather counters. Destroy all cards on this field.
Masquerade the Blazing Dragon.
Okay. Does he also?
It's whenever your opponent activates a card, they must pay 600 life points.
Okay, so this is technically better. And then
but it's also harder to summon.
Turn it into a board nuke.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Despia sees play specifically because of that card, so...
Oh, okay. Also, I missed this earlier. It's also, it's banished from your graveyard as well, so you can just... that actually, I think, gives Chinook a reason to exist. Because you can use that to just bin... You can just, I assume they did it because they just do the normal thing of the levels, but this really makes sense if you put this guy up front, and then you understand the line. So, because you can summon it by banishing a Tuner Synchro and Blackwing Dragons, so from your hand, from your field or graveyard. So using Chinook to just make a negate to bin a Synchro Tuner to your graveyard.
depending on how easy this guy is to summon out multiple copies, this might actually make Blackwing viable.
Yeah. Now, admittedly, you can't use its quick effect with multiple copies, but the burn stacking.
No,
this is just the synchro version of Flare Metal, basically.
Well, I say this: Despia became a powerhouse of a deck specifically off the back of Summon 2 Masquerade. You can't out this with out killing yourself.
And then we have
I don't think they say that it's
another
guess.
synchro tuner. Well, yeah, they're assuming because it's Boreas of the Demonic Wind, Mafu. So they're like, so it won't be called demonic because the TCG is still for 6-year-olds, even though no 6-year-old can afford to play this game seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another personal bone to pick I have with the TCG. Your game is not for 6 years old anymore. I know you don't want to like change the age rating on the packages,
it's like for
but
people like a 13 plus, honestly.
At best, yes. I think it is for like early teens and more reasonably, your entire pro scene is like 20 somethings or 30.
People that can people that can read the cards and understand how to make a deck.
But this is, Black Feather Boreas. This is also a synchro tuner, level 6, 24/12, 1 dark tuner, 1 or more non-tuner monsters, so semi-generic. If this card is synchroed, you can send a Blackwing from your deck to your graveyard, and if you do, this card's level becomes that monster. Okay, this is also fairly decent for going into Assault Dragon, because you can level fix him. Which also does actually, once again, this does make that other guy better.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
The one guy.
I think the only card that I still don't really see a place for is the second one, the
Shamal?
Sandstorm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, we have to go see what the
Yeah, we have to see what the Black Feather Whirlwind does, if that's worth having a guy to pitch. Even though there are already cards that search him.
He's also level 4.
But let's see if this card is when this card is destroys a monster and sends it to the graveyard, banish a Blackwing from your special summon. Oh, cool! So this guy is also just Goyo.
Yeah.
You have to banish a Blackwing to do it, but yeah, this guy's just like, yo, Goyo.
It's from your field or grave, and there's probably ones that. Are there any ones that actually benefit from being banished from field?
Oh shit! No, this is generic.
It requires a dark tuner, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay.
But that's not that bad.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but mostly generic.
That's the number one restriction on synchro monsters. That's not a problem.
It's dark. It's not like Earth where that's actually kind
yeah,
of a
no.
restriction.
This guy is just oops Goyo. And then Black Feather Whirlwind. Kurohane no Senpu. Once per turn, if you special summon a Dark Synchro monster from your extra deck, target one of your Blackwing monsters or Blackwinged Dragon with a lower attack or that is banished or in your graveyard, special summon it, so the banish effect comes in. Once per turn, if a dark monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can remove a Black Feather counter instead. Wow, that is great.
So the weirdest thing is, would it count for... Yeah, so you just take it from the...
From Assault,
Assault Dragon. But there's other cards that also put counters on your opponent's monster.
Yes, it's from the field. No, this is a pretty good.
This is your field, though, so I'm not sure.
Since this has banish... Well, yeah, from your field, not for opponent monsters, but still. This is banished recovery.
Like, the second effect is kind of meh, but...
It's not the best, but it is a protection effect.
That first effect is... Holy shit.
And also, you can cheat out with a card you get to summon.
And then we have 2 new trap cards. We have...
I guess Shamal, but then...
Twin Shadow... You can only activate this once per turn. If you control 2 more Blackwings, you can activate this card from your hand. Pretty basic. Return turn 2 of your Blackwing monsters that are banished from your graveyard to the deck and/or extra deck. 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner. Oh my god! You can activate this from the hand, and you get to banish Synchro. What the fuck?
No, you return your banish. Your banish effects are great actually because.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean though. Like, if you have 2 monsters, you can play this from your hand. It's a hand trap, and then you can. Put 2 of your graveyard or banished monsters back to Synchro. This includes your extra deck, by the way. So, Dallas, this means that making 2 of that motherfucker is incredibly easy.
Yeah.
Also, your Demonic Wind now actually comes...
actually, I guess not, because he's not Black-Winged Dragon. He's still Blackwing Assault Dragon. So that doesn't work for him, but still, it lets you recover those banished guys very easily.
But you can also special it at least.
This is...
And it counts as Synchro.
Yeah, this is very good. And then our next one is Black Noble, or Black Shadow Squall. Counter Trap, you can only use its first and second effect once per turn. When a spell trap is activated, Omni Negate, and
that
then...
would require... Paradox, that would require anyone at Konami giving a shit about anything in GX.
Oh wow, that's just a good card. like that actually makes doing Blackwing Dragon stuff important.
I mean, we can look at the stuff they're putting out for the structure deck. I don't think it's crazy good, but they're trying at least. I think we've got those.
I would say
I would like to see them because
this is actually really good.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't give a single shit about Blackwings.
No, but
mean,
I wanted to bring
fair.
this up because I'm not going to show it on screen, but I was like, where the fuck? What did we talk about for Darkwing Blast already? Because they also revealed there's a new wave of Tyralements, so we don't need to like really discuss them at length. But you've got some new spell cards. And
oh,
stuff.
no, look, they're now waters. Okay, charming.
Yeah. Well, they say this is supposed to be like the aftermath.
Basically,
also,
like,
Axe, you'll be happy. Is it on the first screen? Yep, there it is. Our next OCG set name after Darkwing Blast is Photon Hypernova.
Oh, they're gonna do the lights
Jesus.
now, and then I guess they're gonna do. Okay, so let's see. If they've done Earth, they've done Wind, they've done Water. Now they're doing lights.
Well, if it's called Photon Hypernova, I think we know at least one of them for sure.
Yeah.
So let's see. For sure, here are 2 cards. You've got Awakening of the Gem God.
Photons.
Reveal 1 ultimate crystal monster in your hand to activate one of these effects. Or if you control an ultimate crystal monster, activate both of these effects.
I played 2 of those field spells on that list.
Well, yeah, but that's why you can't. Take a bridge card, not those cards, or a Rainbow Refraction from your deck. Either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Special summon a Crystal Beast monster from your hand, deck, graveyard, or spell and trap zone.
I will say.
I assume the idea here is that this turns Rainbow Dragon into not a brick.
Well, I don't think you even play Rainbow Dragon Mono.
You play the retrain. There's like 3 different retrains of it.
There's like 5 retrains.
Yeah.
And 3 of them are actually good, relatively.
And then our new one, Crystal Brilliance. You can only control 1 Crystal Brilliance. All Crystal Beast monsters you control gain attack equal to their original defense. If a Crystal Beast is placed in your spell trap zone, even during the damage step, you can send this card to your graveyard, special summon a Crystal Beast from your hand or graveyard, and any damage you take this turn is halved.
That's actually pretty good.
So that actually gives you incentive to swarm with your Crystal Beasts actually in your monster zones, because they get big. They're reprinting a shitload of stuff, by the way. Hamon, Rainbow Bridge, Ghost Bell, Melody of Awakening Dragon, Cosmic Cyclone, Ultimate Crystal Magic, Metaverse, Over Dragon, Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, and Crystal Bond. But let me see if I can dig up. There were other cards in the structure deck they already previewed as well.
So just to bring up, for like the various attribute-based
When did we get our
build packs.
Omni
So
Negate?
they've done waters, they've done winds, and now they're doing darks. That's what it is so far.
Oh, we don't get our Omni Negate
What's-
until this?
What's wins? What are we talking about?
Basically, because
We
they did
already
like
did-
they've
we
been
already
doing
did
like
win.
duelist packs where it's like they did.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
Legendary
Yeah.
Duelists, yes.
They've done water, they've done wind, they've now doing dark, and they've done earth, I guess.
No,
Or-
They've
done
already
Earth.
done Dark.
They've already that we don't know if that counts yet. Omega.
That's true. That might not count. We think that counts because it
I
was
hope
called
that
Duelists of
doesn't
Gloom.
count.
It was called Duelists of Gloom
I
in
still hope
the
that doesn't count 'cause it was
in the
awful.
OCG. So it probably was the start, but it was a bad start. That is fair. We've
Okay,
got
so
Duels from the Deep. They're working on the Earth one, and we've had
So-
Synchro Storm came out. I think it's just Fire and Light that are left, assuming that there's not another Dark one. That'll probably be at the
I
end
hope
of the
that-
cycle, no matter what. Welcome. By the way, this is what I mean. By the way, that YG organization is fucking cluttered. Like, look at all the shit I'm looking for.
It should be section organized.
hunting
honestly.
for the
I mean, to
structure
be
deck.
fair, to be fair, that's not just Rush Duel stuff. Like there was some dude just be like, "I'm looking for gold imprints."
Well, they do merchandise news as well. Deck recipes
Honestly,
are here.
I feel like it should be sectioned off where it's like one is like
Like, they
merchandise
have
and one is
categories. The problem is, like, if I click
This
news,
website is from
that doesn't do
2004.
anything. Because that
Yeah.
still gives me Rush and other promos, Doodle Monsters,
I'm so happy about the zombie cards in Rush Duels.
Amazon S, like, merch
Look,
counts.
I like Rush Duels.
I mean, by the way, this is hilarious. If you haven't seen this, they're printing a new joke version of Blue Eyes. It counts as Blue Eyes, but it's got, like, the original flavor text on it. Let me pull it up. Super rare card. The highest attack and defense. Too difficult to get in English. Blue Eyes White Dragon. So that's hilarious.
That is fun.
It's a Crystal Beast
It-
power
it's
up
also
pack.
it's all tournament legal because whatever.
Well, yeah, they just declare it's tournament legal.
Wait, holy shit! This is a really good Omni Negate.
What?
Crystal Miracle.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm still looking for the fucking article.
Yeah.
But I knew there was more stuff. That's Darkwing Blast.
I'm trying to remember. So let's see, for the Earths, it was just the
Amazon,
thing,
Power Tool, and I mean, I can open up the fucking
and then like
literally
like
the list.
Bashir's, like star stuff.
Morphtronic, Earth Fairies, yeah, Earth Fairies. Shizu's deck. They're giving her a real deck. That's right.
Yeah.
It doesn't really support anything I was going to do. but
Morphtronic
maybe the-
Scannon. Oh, sick. We got a 3D printer. Look at that boy.
The level 5
level
of
5
high on
Rhyme
Morphtronic.
Morphtronic.
Hey, we've been looking for him. I'll pull him up just for shits and giggles. I don't think I've read this since.
I love
Morphtronic
because
Morphtronic.
fine.
Scannon. Oh, it's a level 6 tuner.
Oh, Jesus.
You run,
Cannot be
and-
normal summoned or
oh.
set. Must be special summoned by banishing a
Oh.
Morphtronic from your hand. This card gains the following effects. Attack as you want to return. Add a Morphtronic spell trap from your deck to your hand, then place one card in your hand on top of your deck. 'Cause otherwise, that would be fucking busted. Defense
Oh
position,
my
add a
God.
Morphtronic
I mean,
to your
you
graveyard
use
to your
that
hand. Put it back.
You use that just to activate one of the phones.
This
I
guy
think
is
this
fucking
is
rad.
really good.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
guy's
let's
great.
go. I
just-
can play
Also,
Morphtronics
weirdly enough,
again.
you just play. Weirdly enough, you also just activate it with the phones because it works already with it because you already excavate technically. Or
Do I do
It's
this?
banished from your hand, actually, I believe it said, so. Mirror
Am I
pack.
stupid enough to play this deck tomorrow?
they're making a new adventure card promo.
The bees! Why?
Oh my god, they're just so cluttered, guys. Please. There's the Darkwing Glass. God, that's ancient. Where are you? Okay. So is this all the spell traps?
Beyond the
Yes,
Pendulum.
here we go. Okay. So we've got Crystal Protection. Target a Crystal Beast monster you control, destroy it, then special summon a Crystal Beast token with the same everything.
I'm kind of annoyed that this article doesn't link to the other articles didn't link to the previous versions of the thing.
Hey, yeah, like I said, I don't govern how they do the stuff. It's just, it's really hard to search for anything that's older than like a couple weeks.
I'll be right back.
If a Crystal Beast is placed in your spell trap while this is in your graveyard, even during the damage step, banish this card, special summon a Crystal Beast from your spell trap zone. That's very funny. So you can get a guy blown up, put him in the spell trap, immediately put him back. Fuck you. Crystal Grace. Special summon 2 Crystal Grace to that Crystal Beast monster from your spell trap zones and gain LP equal to their original total attack. Pretty good. Crystal Beast is placed in your spell trap zone once in your graveyard. Banish it, excavate your deck. If it's a Crystal Beast monster, add it to your hand to special summon it, otherwise send to graveyard. And then Crystal Miracle, Dallas mentioned this earlier. When a spell trap card or monster effect is activated, destroy a Crystal Beast you control, and if you do, negate and destroy. If they're placed in your spell trap, this is in your deck, you can banish this card, place a Crystal Beast monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up in your spell trap zone. That's pretty good, yes. We're also reprinting Rainbow Dark. We're reprinting the Pendulums for some ungodly reason. That's a terrible idea, but okay. Rainbow Ruins, Crystal Beacon, Crystal Abundance, Rare Value. Advanced Dark is being reprinted, and Crystal Conclave. That's good for the animation collection. And there is a new version of... Oh yeah, we should also probably throw this up just because it's funny. Well, what animation cards do they put out? Crystal Skull!
Yep.
And Stonehenge. And Dream Shark. And Heroic Call. And they're making the Cicada deck real. I remember that now. That's very hilarious. Oh, and the Bolt Star guys. That's right.
Wow. Oh, right.
By the way, this may be the... Dallas talked earlier about how they need to do more anime bullshit. These 2 animation chronicles they've done so far, these may be the greatest idea Konami has ever had. Of just like, hey, what if we just printed all the stupid cards from the anime we haven't printed yet and just put that in a set? What if we did that?
I agree with this.
It's great.
Do more
No.
of this.
Yeah, same.
Print the weird fucking cards from the manga.
I mean, I think they have done that in some animation. They're called Animation Chronicle, but I believe they've done that. Oh, right, and we're calling it Crystal Revenge in the TCG for some ungodly reason. There's there's the card with the art I talked about.
Oh, what card?
Amazoness Warchief.
Ah, yes.
The shoulders on that one, Jesus.
I mean, I love all the new Amazoness stuff, but everybody has pointed out with that hairstyle and facial structures, that looks like Crow. It's weird. Let's see. Power of the Elements, Dimension Force. Where was the... I know there was a... I don't know if it matters, but I know that for sure there was a new version of Rainbow Dragon again.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, that's the TCG version. God, so much merch stuff I don't care about.
But don't you care about these figurines?
It's probably
Amazing Defenders is
Rainbow
their next deck build.
Dragon Overdrive.
That's the TCG announcement. Also the Earth Charmer, Dragon King Aura. I feel like I want to give up. Chat, if you know, let me know. Let me know and drop me a link to the fucking thing, because I'm tired.
I dropped it in the...
Okay, you found it?
Here.
Alright.
Alright, I'm back. I missed all those spell traps.
Yes.
You didn't miss much.
I heard what it was like actually a good... Oh.
Wait,
I
no,
mean, they have a good Omni Negate.
This doesn't work like this. This can't work like this.
What's up?
I have the dumbest idea for a deck.
Okay.
Which is?
Heavy Metal Raiders Desperado Cosmo.
Okay. Well, good luck for that. Yes, there is a new version of... Yeah, it's... They're saying it's going to be Rainbow Dragon Overdrive.
Yeah, but...
1 Ultimate Crystal Monster, 7 Crystal Beast Monsters. Must be special summoned from your extra deck. During a duel, you special summon an Ultimate Crystal Monster by banishing the above cards from your field or graveyard. If you have banished 7 or more Crystal Beast Monsters with a different name, this card gains 7,000 attack. It's already a 4K beater, by the way.
So this just becomes 11K.
Supposed to be able to fight over like a Neos or something.
If this card has not battled during this turn, quick effect, tribute this card, shuffle as many cards onto the field in the deck as possible, special summon any number of your Crystal Beast Monsters. Which
actually, Mega 7,000 attack actually matters because it means it beats over Utopia.
Yeah.
Those can reach 10k.
Okay. But yeah, so it's, fairly decent. It's funny because you have to make an Ultimate Crystal Monster, then do it, and they got some tokens, and we know that they've confirmed they're reprinting all the beasts and regular Rainbow Dragon. But yeah, it's certainly a thing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed our another new drinking game segment, which did push us over 3 hours, almost at 6 hours. No, we're not doing that episode yet. Which was us yelling at YG Organization for being great, but also being pain.
We're still not there yet, so I don't know.
But there's a lot of fun things. That like Yu-Gi-Oh's still doing okay, I think. I wish they would. The TCG needs to make things a little cheaper, but we got new sets coming out. I think we still have delays. TAC Masters has been delayed until July 1st, I think. Duelist from the Deep got delayed as well. I personally don't care about that one, but it's neat.
I'm not sure if this is a question to put on stream, but it's about Rainbow Next last year.
Okay. I'm also interested in Power of the Elements because that set looks rad. But we have even newer sets like Photon Hyperdrive and Ancient Defenders.
I'm curious to see what they do because I've been the person that's played, I think, the most light archetypes, so I think I'll probably at least have something I'll get out of it.
You play Photon/Galaxy Eyes. It's called Photon Hyperdrive. Literally, there's gonna be some giant rainbow-ass Galaxy Eyes motherfucker on the cover.
I mean, I'll be real.
Yeah.
I have a weird gut feeling there might be like some Cypher support, and that's like the weakest part of it.
God. I am hovering over the chat window, OBS. That thing's all out of sync. You had to stare into the void a little bit there. Sorry, guys. But we're going, so you don't need to worry about that much longer. All right. I'll tab back really quick. Don't forget our failed Portrayal poll, like we said. Consider supporting us on Patreon. Yeah, it's still settled in at $3.95. So we got a little bit of ways to go before that Dimension Dragon stream. So you should, contact your friends, contact your family, contact your enemies, contact random strangers on the street. Tell them to sub to Studio Omega because you want to see me and an unknown number of these guys suffer through Dimension Dragons. A non-zero number.
And then Loft will probably be here half the time.
Probably.
To actually explain how it.
Hey.
I mean, are you sure you want to be here the whole time?
He can be here the whole time. I mean, he can be here the whole time. He
Yeah,
starts this in the morning. He's fine. You're gonna pass the fuck out, buddy.
I mean, we just gotta start early. That'll be fine.
The only reason I wasn't here, Axe, was because I suddenly got a message saying I had an appointment today.
Yes, he had a sudden thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
So get fucked.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Doing cool things. Tier elements will probably be neat, but I'm going to focus on, other shit. But I like deck build packs. I'm excited for Tactical Masters. All 3 of those archetypes are actually, like, funny. Galaxy Eyes Numeron Dragon, which this person said is Numberon. That would be hilarious. What?
No,
wait,
yeah,
what if we did
Rod.
Utopic Galaxy Eyes?
That would be. I feel like that had to be rank 4s that could become 8, because they also do that, because or 8s that become 4s.
Alternatively, Galaxy Eyes Xyz Dragon.
Galaxy.
Because the Galaxy Kid was also an Arc V. Everybody.
Yeah, go all in on that one little part of fucking Galaxy Eyes, and just bring back the fusion support. Just make it.
It's right, because they had the
Photon.
yeah.
Oh, actually no. What about the rituals?
I don't remember
what episode.
Oh right, they have their own version of the Paladin of Galaxy. Yeah, it's very weird. Technically they have a Synchro monster.
They do?
Yeah, that one Photon. Was it Photon?
Right.
What is it called? It's the level 4 sync tuner.
I know what you're talking about.
David was like, he sucks. I need this Crystron sync 4 instead. And I'm like, I don't think they're different.
That's the Photon. That's Phonon Dragon. It's not Photon.
Oh yeah, it's very close. It has the same art style as that.
Yeah.
Omega, thanks for reminding me why I have weird resentment problems.
You're welcome. Anyway, I think we're gonna wrap up here. I think the Master Duel OST has cycled a couple of times.
Galaxy.
But there is absolutely, Dallas is correct, but nobody will remember its name other than that Axe wanted to trade for like 3 of them. There is a Galaxy fusion monster.
Oh, it's like Twin Dragon, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, it's useless.
Twin.
Well,
The episode is over. Goodbye. Thank you. Like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said earlier, support us on Patreon. Don't support these guys on Patreon. They're not on Patreon. If you support me on Patreon, I can eventually leave these losers in the dust, and you never have to hear them interrupt me again. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.